Kappell with you here on this Wednesday evening. Right now, this is May 22nd. This is an infamous day in the world of weather. It was on this day 8 years ago that Joplin, Missouri was struck by the deadliest tornado in modern U.S. history. And I'm not on here to alert you of that. I think a lot of people became aware that the anniversary was today, but the reason I'm on here is because we're thinking of our friends in Joplin tonight, as there is an outbreak of tornadoes that is ongoing across portions of Kansas, Oklahoma, and now moving into parts of southwest Missouri near Joplin. In fact, Joplin, Missouri, that is a PDS tornado watch. We certainly don't need a repeat, and prayers that we don't see anything like that tonight. But I did want to be extra sensitive to our friends again down there in Joplin, Missouri. So if you don't mind helping us get the word out, if you've got social media available to you, you're on the YouTube, share that over with some of your other social medias. That'll help again to let people know that we're watching. So here's a look at it. That PDS watch it does include much of central, southwestern Missouri. It does include southeastern Kansas and northeastern Oklahoma, including Tulsa and the city of Joplin. That is, again, a PDS tornado watch that was issued a little while earlier this afternoon. Taking you straight on over to our analyst radar, and this is really telling the story. We've got side by side, this is reflectivity on the left, and we've got velocity on the right. I want you to notice the proximity of Joplin to this guy. That is a area of rotation that's very strong, and this has prompted a tornado warning just about a county west of Joplin right now. Joplin, that's about a county and a half, I should say. Joplin currently is underneath a severe thunderstorm warning, but that is a tornadic supercell not too far away from the city of Joplin right now. Here's a look at the latest information. We'll start you off just mentioning that Joplin is underneath a severe thunderstorm warning, not a tornado warning, but that tornado warned cell rapidly approaching. These are some of the counties that will be infected by this tornado warning for southern Cherokee County and southeastern Kansas. That goes until 8 p.m. Central Time, where they are expecting the possibility of a tornado and also some large hail with that. That's a pretty good looking signature, as we're seeing gate-to-gate shear somewhere in the order of about 80 knots one way, so about 40 knots the other. So that's about 120 mile per hour gate-to-gate shear. There's a good chance that that may be producing a tornado on the ground. Meanwhile, Joplin, you're underneath a severe thunderstorm warning. That's for Cherokee County, northwestern Newton, and southwestern Jasper County. We'll put all this into motion for you. In the meantime, I'm also going to work on my other radar unit while I'm talking to you. And we'll get caught up with who is in the room. Also coming up in just a moment, I saw a couple of my supporters in here, including John Joseph just a moment ago. We've got Patty McMillan on here. Can't be good. The Cascadian hiker has joined us. Jack Allen himself. That's Rochester, New York News and Television Archive. Jerry Edwards has made it into the room. Guys, thank you for coming on board, and help us spread the word if you don't mind. I know you guys will do a good job of that. Just monitoring, again, it's partially sentimental because of what happened in Joplin 8 years ago, but also because, you know, this is just another in what's been an ongoing sequence of tornado and tornado outbreaks the last several days. The plains, they've been absolutely getting pummeled, and we're really hoping to avoid any major disasters tonight, but you know, that's not a guarantee. As we were showing you, that is a PDS tornado watch. It does include the city of Joplin. Tornado warning, this is coming out of Springfield. Springfield, Missouri does continue. That is a radar indicated for Cherokee, Kansas. A large, extremely dangerous tornado was located near trees for 7 miles north of Miami. Let's get back to tracking that. Joseph, I was thinking of you because I've invited a few friends over on Sunday. If you're not doing anything, my wife and I would love to have you over. That's Joseph, and got some of the other guys in the room as well. So let me know if you aren't doing anything. We'd love to have you. That'd be Sunday evening. I'll send you a text, or if I forget, you send me one. We'll do it like that. What's a PDS? Well, you have to, it's kind of a breakdown of the differences between a watch warning and a tornado emergency. That's not the PDS that I was going to show you. We hope we don't see a tornado emergency at any point tonight. But let me pull up the correct image. This should be it here. Nope. Well, we are going to work on this. Oh, there it is. I see what I did. Oh, yeah, that's not what we wanted to do either. All right, give me a moment to fix this. New information coming in. That's a TDS on the Oklahoma-Kansas border. I'm going to show you that. We'll get back to this in a moment. Okay, so there's that PDS information. Stands for particularly dangerous situation. PDS watch has been issued, and now we're looking at the possibility of a TDS, or tornadic debris signature, from that storm. What is a TDS and where is it at? And you can see its relation to Joplin on this map here. This is right here on the Kansas and Oklahoma border. It looks like the circulation is rain wrapped. I'm going to place the marker. Yeah, it's right in the middle of that storm, completely rain wrapped. That may also remind you of Joplin, as that was a completely rain wrapped storm. Looking at NROTS, normalized rotation, we're seeing that evident. And then CC, which is correlation coefficient, as identified by the National Weather Service, there is indeed what appears to be a TDS. It's not the strongest that I've seen, but we're also at about 7,000 feet. So we do believe that debris is being lofted into the air. TDS stands for tornadic debris signature. So we believe that's what's happening right now. That's very close to the town of Treese, just off to the west of the town of Treese. Putting this into motion, kind of getting a sense of the way it's moving. It was moving towards the northeast, but it looks like it's beginning to make a right turn towards the town of Treese, maybe just to the north of Treese. I'm going to pull up also some new data coming on over from our other radar unit, and I'll have that up here momentarily. That will also include the latest watches and warnings that are coming into the Kappell Weather Plex tonight. Thank you again for being here. I'm going to try to share this also with our YouTube friends, letting them know that we're on here. So, doing about 15 things all at the same time. None of them particularly doing a very good job. But, you know, we're doing the best we can. It's a one-man station here tonight. So coming on over to the Kappellcast, I'm going to come right back over to Analyst Radar in a moment. But this is our other radar unit that does highlight these areas where we've got the watches that are in effect. That's that glowing yellow area. Technically, there's a tornado watch from Wichita Falls. A tornado warning just came in near Wichita Falls, all the way up to about Peoria, Illinois. So large section of real estate involved with that. And I'm pulling up information from our friends over here on YouTube. I want to share the link. If you guys are on Facebook, if you're on Twitter, if you don't mind to share the link of this YouTube video. That would be helpful to us tonight. Thank you very much for that. And there it is. That's away. And let's see how we're doing tonight. We've got a small crowd, about a baker's dozen in here right now. Jack Allen's in the house. Jack, you got multiple YouTubes, don't you? All right, just kind of getting warmed up. 13 people in the room now, watching these tornado warnings that are being spread all over southwestern Missouri now, unfortunately, and also for much of northeastern Oklahoma, southeastern Kansas. Let me get up some of the radar information here for you. I'm going to take off the local. We're going to stick with kind of a composite radar, if you will. And I'm going to take off the watch for now too. I kind of feel like that's getting in the way, and flash flood warnings. Let's move those out of the way. Now the only thing that we're looking at here are all of the severe thunderstorm warnings and the tornado warnings. And we've got quite a number of them. Okay, you can see everything putting into motion here. They continue with the wording on that tornado warning again. This one is for Cherokee County, Kansas. I'll take you back on over to our analyst radar, where this is a completely rain-wrapped storm, and we're still seeing we're seeing that pop there, these brighter colors. That's where you're seeing some winds, but this is also appears to be what I would consider an occluded supercell thunderstorm, meaning the actual tornado has embedded itself and the rain is wrapped all the way around. So typically, not always, certainly wasn't the case of on May 22nd, 2011, but usually that is a weakening process. So there's I'm identifying the location of that vortex, or of that circulation, again right in the middle of all that rain, which is good news for Joplin. Joplin right now, you are underneath a severe thunderstorm warning, but I'm looking at the winds near Joplin right now, and at least elevated, the winds are not that fast, 20-30 miles per hour aloft. It's difficult to say for sure exactly how fast those winds are on the ground, but there you have it. Linda Ketchum on here, thank you for providing the severe weather coverage better than the Weather Channel, she says. That's Linda Ketchum. Well, thank you, Linda. If you don't mind, a quick subscription to this channel, which is designated again for high-end severe outbreaks, and we'll cover hurricanes as need be, and perhaps winter storms in the future. But we just launched this past week, so we're trying to get some traction. We've got a few subscribers on here now, and we're trying to increase that subscription base. Also, be sure to hit the bell, get the notification when we come on, because it's going to take a little while before we begin to rank up there in your Google search, which is so important. Okay, so we've identified that area of rotation. New information coming in as we speak from the National Weather Service. So I'm going to get that up in front of you. Tornado warning observed now, so they've got the observed tag on this. Again, this is for Cherokee. They're calling it a large and dangerous tornado. There are double funnels, it looks like, southwest 20th. And I'm assuming, well, is that coming in? I'm looking for the town where that's coming in from. Let me take a broader perspective here. I want to make sure that we're focused on, we're getting the entire area. There's so much to watch with an outbreak like this. It's coming in fast and furious, if you will. Going on over to our other radar unit. This is showing only tornado and severe thunderstorm warnings. The severe thunderstorm warnings are in orange, the tornado warnings are in red. So I'm wondering if we're not watching this storm down here in Tulsa, that would be, and let me get back in communication with the Weather Service out of Tulsa. Their latest warning came in at 8:29. It was a corrected tornado warning. That is for Craig, is that right? Craig, Oklahoma. And so I've got the live communications with the National Weather Service on here. That helps me keep up as the warnings come out. I get notified here first. I can notify you oftentimes before the public becomes aware of these warnings. So there is a tornado warning for Claremont in Oklahoma. That's Claremore, excuse me. And we're going to come right back to the storm located near Joplin in a moment. I'm going to pull up the information on the Tulsa. It's not in Tulsa, but this is going to be for Rogers and north central Wagoner counties. That goes until 8 p.m. Central, so you've got about another 20 minutes. This is a radar indicated tornado. Getting up closer to the Oklahoma and Kansas border. That's where we have the more serious warning. And that storm looks like it's still holding on with some pretty good circulation. It is embedded, but it's rotating. It's spinning like a top still, with winds on the order of about 60 mile per hour. That's moving away from the radar site, and it's about 20 miles per hour toward. So we've got effective shear of about 80 miles per hour associated with that storm. Looking back over at the debris signature, we call this correlation coefficient. We've got a very high likelihood that there is there's a TDS. And I'm going to point that out, see if I can't get my telestrator to work for you guys. That is definitely a TDS. Stands for tornadic debris signature. My friend Jack Allen, he's been working with me on making this program better last several days, and there's a few improvements we need to work on. Apparently, including getting my capture device back up and running properly. That shouldn't be difficult to do. There I am. I'm back on your screen. And then let's get my border back on correctly. It shouldn't take but a second. And we'll get back to the warnings that are out there. All right, got my border correct. Okay, everything's back. Now I need to take you over to analyst radar. I need to multitasking at its best, everybody. I'm doing the best I can here. What I'm pointing out is this thing that we call a TDS. That's not it. Now, on the left-hand side of your screen, right there is the circulation. On the right there. Oh, Jack, we got to fix this. Hold on. I think I know what I need to do. All right. Where's Jack when you need him? He's on here. Somebody talk to him. Tell him we've got to get this corrected. All right, I see what we're doing here, Jack. Okay, so I need to move this here. Not you. And we need to change the shape of it. All right, so now that it's just including the center of the screen. This should be better. All right, let's try this. In the meantime, let's see, who do we have on here? We've got the regular group in the house. Jack Allen, he's here. I'm on the wrong video source, he says. Not now, I'm not, Jack. Not now, I'm not, because I'm looking at it. And so I wanted to point out this TDS. That's not it. Oh, I've still got something wrong, Jack. Because I'm not pointing at what I want to point at. It's over here. All right, we'll come back to the telestrator. Maybe when it's behaving better. Or I could just, oh, I think I see what I did. I'm just going to delete this. Okay, we're going to go back over to the Kappell cast. Issues a tornado warning for Mays and Rogers in Oklahoma. That's Tulsa issuing a new tornado warning. We'll fly over to that in just a moment. Okay, and back over here. Let's see if we fixed it. I did. Looks like we're back. At least I think so. Almost back. Get this figured out. All right, let's get back to the warning information, then I'll play around with my telestrator. So, okay, so the new warning coming in, this is out of Oklahoma. There it is. It just popped on our screen while we were looking at it. So that does include Pryor. That's a decent-sized town. Adair, Salina, Langley, and Chateau, Oklahoma. You can see the warnings also further north into Kansas and now southeastern sections of Missouri, where there is a moderate risk, I might add, of severe weather. Storm Prediction Center, busy again today. This is where that convective moderate risk is. It's in the red, so this is where things were expected to get pretty dicey today, and that's exactly what they're doing. More rotten, severe weather, areas that just don't need to see anymore. Not that anybody needs to see severe weather. That TDS is still there. Tornadic debris signature. I'm going to come on down to Tulsa. I'm going to take a look at a little different vantage point here. So this is coming out of the Tulsa radar. It should populate with some data in just a moment. And then you can see the new tornado warning that has been issued. I'll get the information up on that now. That tornado warning in effect for central Rogers, Mayes County in northeastern Oklahoma. That goes until 8:30. It's for a rotation capable of producing a tornado and golf ball sized hail moving east at 35 miles per hour. So let me pull up reflectivity. It's on the right. Ooh, that is an ugly looking storm. I can tell you that just by looking at it. Okay, I'm going to pull back a little bit. I'm going to pull in some more data. I'd like to get a good storm relative motion on it. It's going right over the radar site. So I can get that motion by measuring basically in between frames. Now I want you to watch the image on the right, because when I change this over, that's going to affect your motion data, your velocity data on the right. So that should change. It didn't change. Yeah, there it is. So they're watching this hook feature here. Jack, can you see my cursor? Let me know. I don't think you... Yeah, you can see my cursor. Good. Because that may have to be my telestrator for the moment. Alright, so this is located, again, very close to Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's just off to the east. Get that warning information again for you. That is for Rogers County and Mayes County. That circulation going right over the airport, where the radar is at. And so the warned area, anywhere to the east essentially of where this storm is. This is a dangerous looking storm. I think it's too soon to see if that thing has picked up any debris. But the velocities are there. This is just a regular storm velocity. It doesn't take into account the motion of the storm. So it's different from SRV, which is storm relative velocity. Typically, it's a little more difficult to identify where the circulation is on that one. That's why I like to use this one. And you can definitely tell where things are popping, and you're seeing that circulation wrapping up. So if this is not producing a tornado yet, it probably will. That's an angry looking storm. Let's go check it back in on our friends in Joplin, where there's still circulation just off to the east, but that storm is dying. It looks like it's being choked. And I'm going to pull up radar information coming out of Springfield. We'll have that up for you in just a moment. 24 people on live. So we are gradually but surely growing this crowd here tonight with a lot of our favorite friends. JP Florida on here. And is JP? Is it John Paul? Nope, he's in Port St. Lucie, which is a beautiful part of the east coast of Florida, I believe. My father lived down in South Florida for many years, so I got to visit and to live down there for a while. I say Nathan Belcher checking in. Thank you for being here on our YouTube channel. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification as well. This new channel, just getting started. We want to focus on severe weather, kind of my wheelhouse as a meteorologist over the last 2 decades. I've spent more time watching radar, studying radar, chasing tornadoes, tracking tornadoes than I think most people probably in a few lifetimes. I've worked in Texas, I've worked in Kansas, I've worked in Mississippi, the Ohio River Valley, and more recently across portions of the Great Lakes in Northeast. So the current situation is that we've got a moderate risk day. We knew that when we woke up this morning. That was the Storm Prediction Center upgrading this entire area to a moderate risk. This is the area in red's the moderate. It does include Tulsa, Pittsburgh, Kansas. It does include Joplin. Keep in mind what happened 8 years ago in Joplin. We don't want to think back on that day, just how awful it was. I mean, to think that 158 people could be killed by a single tornado. in this modern day and age of radar technology, communications, warning system. It's still unnerving to think about it. But 158 people, and that goes to show you we are still very vulnerable to these things. And unfortunately for our friends in Joplin, they're sweating it tonight because they do have the active severe weather all around them. There was a PDS tornado watch that was issued earlier, and that tornado watch does continue, and it does continue. It does include the city of Joplin. So that's a look at the progress of those storms. I'm going to take you back over to our analyst radar, where we've got several tornado warnings that we're tracking for you. A few of them, by the way, northern portions of the state beginning to spin up really good. We may have to go pay a visit up there. But I'm just especially sensitive to Joplin right now and their plight. So I want to continue to watch that storm. It's not even a county away, less than a county away from another circulation that appears to be a tornado still in progress. It actually looks like it's a little better organized now than it was a few moments ago. So this storm looked like it was in a weakening phase, but suddenly showing signs of life again. So Joplin, just heads up, you've got severe weather near you. You have a potential tornado in the next county over. So that county is Cherokee, Kansas. The circulation located near Riverton, right on top of Riverton. Meanwhile, I'm monitoring the chats going between Tulsa and Springfield at the moment. That's the National Weather Service. More severe thunderstorm warnings coming down the pipe. At 8:47, they did continue the tornado warning. That is for Cherokee County, and they're still describing this as a confirmed large, extremely dangerous tornado. So, okay, so we've identified that area of circulation again, right here in the middle of your screen. I may try the telestrator one more time. Let's see. Wish me luck. Here it is, and let's see if we can't get on here those two areas of circulation. So there it is. That's the actual circulation that's showing up on the velocity. And then if you look at its the mirror over here, there's the actual circulation as it shows up on your reflectivity. So that's still pretty bright. That's pretty hot, and not in a good way. Putting this into motion, and you can kind of get a sense for the way it's tilting and turning. I've got golden powers on here. I lived through the Edmonton tornado of 1986. My goodness, and that's a very, very famous tornado. I believe that was F5 status. Joseph on here talking about Zebulon Library. I don't know what that's about. Anyway, we're here. We're tracking severe weather across the plains again. Oh God, here we go. Joplin, Missouri just issued a tornado warning. Joplin, you're under a tornado warning. They're not messing around. I hate this. I hate this for them. If you guys don't mind, if you're on other forms of social media, get them on here. Joplin, Missouri, that is a confirmed tornado heading towards the city of Joplin right now. I hate this. I hate this for them. And I'm going to send out a Twitter. They've got a little bit of time, but we want to make sure that they get the notice. I really do, because this is the worst day for these people. They do not need this, but instead, that's exactly what they're going to get. Tornado warning, the city of Joplin. Unbelievable. Get in your safe place. If you got friends, relatives, family, whatever, tell them to get underground. All right, so if you guys don't mind, give me a moment to process this. It's the reason I got on. If there was any chance they were going to issue a tornado warning for Joplin today, I wanted to be on. And sure enough. Okay, so let's make sure I've got the right warning out. Okay, there it is. It's going out to Joplin now. Give me a moment. All right, so the wording on that is tornado warning for, the information's coming in so fast all of a sudden. Here it is. All right, so that's for Newton County, Jasper and Newton County. Storm is moving in at east of 25. All right, so this is out. That's away. I've just sent that through on Twitter. I'm going to turn around. I want to fire this away on Facebook. If you guys are on either of the two social medias, please retweet forward. I'm going to try to get this information out just as fast as we possibly can. What I want to also do is include my YouTube stream in that information, so they can watch, get their updates. They can go to the basement and they can keep their updates with us. So, and then give me, I almost got this out. Should have called Jack in today. Okay, all right, so we're about to get back to analyzing radar. Again, we've got a little bit of time. That's why I wanted to take the time to put out the warning on social media. And that warning is now out there. If you follow me on Facebook, please share this information. If you follow me on Twitter, please share that as well. We've got a chance to make a difference here if we act within the next few minutes. And I'm going to share that to myself. My wife's in the other room. I know she's sharing. That what I just put on my Facebook timeline. Okay, and that is away. And let's go right on back over to the radar again. That's a tornado warning for the city of Joplin on the 8-year anniversary of the deadliest tornado disaster in modern U.S. history. Unbelievable. You can't write a script like this. Prayers for all those families that had to endure what they had to endure, again, just a few years ago. There is a look at it on Analyst. You've been looking at it on Analyst. Let me take you over to the other radar. We'll put this into motion. In the meantime, just thoughts and prayers to, again, all of our friends down there that are potentially in the path of this deadly storm. So this is our Kappellcast radar showing you that we've got a multitude of warnings across the state. Anywhere in red, that is a tornado warning. But we really want to focus here on southwest Missouri, southeastern Kansas, where that supercell thunderstorm is now approaching the city of Joplin. And it's unfortunate because it looked like it was weakening. We were hoping it's going to pass to the north, and suddenly it's strengthening, and now it's making a turn. It's near the town of Galena right now. Let's take you guys back over to the Analyst radar. And there you have it. So Joplin's here, Galena's here. The actual rotation very near the town of Galena. I'm going to put a marker on that. And it kind of looks like there may be a couple areas of rotation. This next one looks like it's a little better. organized, which is not a good thing. I'm going to look up in altitude on the right hand side. What we're looking at is velocity. This is radar information that's coming out of Springfield. And watching that storm as it approaches. Joplin, you've been under a severe thunderstorm warning for 45 minutes to an hour. Now the storm strengthening. Joplin, you're right in the middle of this warning. I'm going to take a look underneath to see if there's any evidence of this thing creating debris. So we're going to go on over to what we would call CC, or correlation coefficient. I do not see a clear debris signature yet. Hopefully we won't. I'm going to check back in with our social medias. I just want to make sure that everybody's here. We've got 70 people in the room. Please help us continue to get the word out that Joplin, Missouri, and the 8th anniversary of the most devastating tornado event in modern times. The 8th anniversary was today, May 22nd, 2011. Joplin was devastated, leveled by an EF5. And now they're underneath a PDS, particularly dangerous situation, and a tornado warning aimed right at that city. I don't want to take any chances. I want to make sure everybody's getting the word out. Please help us do that. If you haven't already, share it any way that you possibly can. I've got sirens in Joplin. That's coming in from photon rays waves. Okay, very good. Carla Babick with a share. If you can help us get the word out, share it, spread it, whatever you've got to do. Again, we've got a chance to really make a difference here tonight, so I'm going to rely on you guys to make that happen. We've been looking at analyst radar, the city of Joplin. That circulation is getting so close. I'm going to back this up. I want to get a best track on this. And I think what we can hope is that it passes to the north of Joplin. That would be the best case scenario. Best case scenario, this thing falls apart completely, but I think we're beyond that now. So I'm going to go on over to a single panel. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this in multiple dimensions now. I want to analyze the storm from a three-dimensional perspective. And then I'm going to show this to you. Okay, so you're looking at it with me. And so you can kind of see the internal structure of the storm. We are definitely seeing signs of organization. Organized hook echo around the base of the storm. You've got a tilted updraft. We're looking at cloud echo tops of over 50,000 feet. I'm going to look for normalized rotation. And you can see that rotation within the body of the storm. That's what you're seeing there in the blues primarily, but also greens on the other side. Where those two are coming together, that's where you've got air rotating in opposite directions. So again, this is a three-dimensional volume scan of that storm. Volumetric scan showing proximity to Joplin. Joplin under a tornado warning on this day, 8 years removed from the devastation that occurred just a short time back. I think we all remember that all too well. All right, and this is going back over to regular analyst radar, getting closer to the city of Joplin. And let's see, Weather Service, see what they have to say. They continue the tornado warning. Well, there's multiple warnings throughout the state, but the one of most concern is for Newton County. Newton County, I'm going to take you quickly over to our other radar before we dive back in. So this is putting it into motion for you, the storm of interest, located right in the center of your screen. As it was trying to make a It was trying to weaken when it suddenly strengthened, and now it's taking a right turn. It's almost like Mother Nature has it out for our friends in Joplin. We just, at least the least thing that we could do is make sure that we're getting the word out to them. So I'm going to take this back over to split panel, and there's that circulation tightening up again. On this map, I can see we've got inbounds coming in at about 55 miles per hour. We've got outbounds going at about 50. That's 110 mile per hour gate-to-gate shear. That is more than likely producing a tornado. I'm going to take a look up at the tilt. It is quite tilted. As we go up in elevation, we're looking at the lowest level here, and we're looking at that circulation at about 5,000 feet. We are showing evidence of either more convection or the possibility of a debris ball just west of Joplin. I'm going to take a look underneath. CCs, this is for looking for the possibility of a TDS or the possibility of a tornado or tornadic debris signature. I've got my marker in the middle here, and it almost looks like there's a TDS, but it's displaced. It's almost like it's further north. So that's not a clear indication of whether it's on the ground or not. We would normally see that closer to where the center of circulation is. Place marker. Let me move up and scan higher levels to see if anything is showing up there. And I'm not currently seeing it. Again, the reason we're on here, tornado warning has been issued for the city of Joplin. That's a confirmed tornado. Okay, so we've got the Skywarn spotters on here. They're sharing sounding. Also, we want to keep in mind that there are other tornado warnings that are out here. I'm going to keep my focus right on Joplin, but there are other tornado warnings in other parts of the state. Once and if this passes to the north of Joplin, and that's the hope, it's going to pass to the north, that's what it looks like, then we'll be able to proceed. All right, so new image coming in. That is an ugly, ugly looking supercell thunderstorm. Very close to the city of Joplin. Joplin, you are underneath that tornado warning. By the way, we've got 98 people on here now. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, and tag the notification button. Again, this program, the aim is to track severe weather, only higher end events, and we just started this channel a week ago, so we could use your help. All right, going right back over to tracking the latest with that storm, again, coming in very close to Joplin right now, and we've got the new analyst data showing that we indeed do have quite a bit of rotation, but I'm happy to say this is passing to the north. This is passing to the north of Joplin. So, city of Joplin, I want you to take a big, deep breath. Don't let your guard down yet. But I think this thing's going to move to your north. At least that's the way it looks. This is very, very good news. I'm going to broaden our perspective. I'm going to put this into motion for you. There's that storm. All right. Great news. They're going to go ahead and cancel the tornado warning for Cherokee County. And as I was saying this to you, it looked like it was going to pass to the north. The Weather Service has decided indeed it's going to. And so that's Newton County that they've decided to allow out. However, that's not Joplin. Joplin's not Newton, is it? Joplin is. So Joplin is still in it. They're going to allow Newton to be canceled out of this, Cherokee to be canceled out of this. However, that is still in effect for Jasper County. That's it. That's where Joplin is located, is Jasper County. But guys, again, look at where the circulation is and look at where Joplin is. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Again, Joplin, I'm cautious that this thing is going to pass safely to your north. But that's not the case. If you're up here in, what is that, Carl Junction, this is right on top of you. Again, potentially large tornado in progress. It's been confirmed. I'm looking at the gates here. I'm showing 130 mile per hour effective shear. It's not the tightest rotation that I've seen, but that's rotation nonetheless. And We need to heed that. I'm going to take a look. These ectotops are way up here, by the way. Ectotops, that's how high the thunderstorm is in the atmosphere. 55,000 feet. And what I want to look at over here, again, is CC, and there it is. We've got TDS. That's a tornadic debris signature on radar. It is located north and west of Joplin. Let me put the marker on here. TDS has been verified on radar. This storm is on the ground. I also want to at least make mention of the hail capability within this storm. I think this could put out ping pong ball sized hail, maybe golf ball sized hail. And of course that rotation, there it is. Now on the right hand side of your screen, I'm going to take this over to a single panel. This is what we call normalized rotation. Basically it's an algorithm produced by the software maker, Gibson Ridge, that helps to identify when tornadoes become possible. And anytime you get into the green, really it becomes a legitimate possibility. Watch that green go into yellow a short time ago as it was crossing just to the north and west of Joplin, and at its latest frame, that's quite a high signature. Again, that is your normalized rotation shown up here on radar. Over on the 2 panel, that is located on what looks to be at this point a debris ball produced by a tornado that is on the ground almost with certainty based on this data. And that, my friends, is not good. That is an ugly looking velocity return where we're looking at winds of 80 miles per hour moving away from the radar site. Winds moving towards the radar site at 65. And that's 145 mile per hour gate to gate shear. This is likely a large tornado. So close to the city of Joplin, but I'm happy to report it's crossing north of Joplin. That's Carl Junction, Airport Drive. It's moving towards Oronogo, however you say that, Webb City. You look to be in line for this storm. That's a large, dangerous supercell thunderstorm with a confirmed tornado. I'm going to take you guys over to our other radar. Again, Joplin, it looks like you're going to be spared. Best news of all. More tornado warnings are out there. I just kind of want to identify those for you if you are tracking along. I know this storm, it's coming with a lot of interest, so I do want to acknowledge the 136 people that are in the room right now. Thank you for coming over, tracking the severe weather with us here on WxLIVE Now. My name is Jeremy Kappell. I'm a veteran meteorologist of over 20 years with forecasting experience from Texas, Kansas, Mississippi, the Ohio River Valley. I thank you for being here, and if you don't mind, subscribe and hit the notification. Share this video if you haven't already. Carthage, Missouri appears to potentially be in the path of this tornado that's coming in from my friend Jack Allen, oftentimes a co-host on this show. Robert Racy, the people who live north of Joplin don't appreciate you saying how great it is that it's going north. And I understand what you're saying, Robert. My point is that it's going north of a very populated area that was absolutely devastated 8 years ago. Those people that have rebuilt their lives, the last thing they need is another monster on their doorstep. It's not good for anybody, so don't get me wrong. All right, let's go back over to the radar data. And here you go. That is an ugly looking storm. So we've got reflectivity on the left. We've got velocity on the right, this latest velocity scan. This is a monster. It's got 80 mile per hour winds moving away from the radar site, directly adjacent to 70 mile per hour winds moving towards the radar site. That's gate-to-gate shear of 150 miles per hour. Now I'm going to go over and we're going to look at correlation coefficient. There is a massive debris ball, exactly where you would expect it to be placed. So I've got the marker here. Let me show you, and I will illustrate as I explain what the debris ball is and why that is a guarantee that there's a destructive tornado on the ground. So the velocity signature that you're seeing right here, right? The bright reds and the bright greens. That's where the radar says it's circulating at about 5,000 feet. Now, what's this over here in the blue? Well, that corresponds to this thing that we're called the TDS. That's the tornado debris signature. That only occurs when there's large items up in the air, much larger than rain or even hailstones. This would have to be like trees and perhaps parts of roofs and debris. That's the reason it's called a TDS. That blue, when it corresponds to the same location as velocity aloft, that's when you know that a touchdown has been made. This is a no-doubter. This is a textbook style. Again, this thing is on the ground. It's tearing things up and it's doing major damage. So let's talk about where it's going. Very close to Carl Junction right now. This is going to be making its way off to the north. I can't pronounce the name of that town. Oronago. It's going to be close to you. Let me go back and then forth. And then I'm going to back this up a little ways more. So that's going to be Alba. If it continues and holds on, it would be Carytown, heading generally towards the town of Jasper. Keep in mind, this thing has made a right move before. If it makes another right move and it goes moisture chasing, it can move towards Carthage. That's what Jack Allen was saying. All it would take is a hard right move. That's a sizable town. All right, so we've got 155 people on this live stream. Thank you for being here. I'm trying to keep up with the comments and also the National Weather Service at the same time. Looking at the new scan that's coming in, guys. This is a terrible looking storm. Okay, I've got 80-mile-per-hour winds in the orange. You come across here, and in that blue color, that's 60. We're still looking at somewhere maybe 60 or 70. 60. We're still looking at effective shear of 130 to 140 miles per hour. That is located at about 5,000 feet. We know there's ground truth because we come on over to correlation coefficient and we have a rather large debris ball. You see where the green triangle is? That's right there in the middle of that circulation now. Now it's a little circulating green arrows. The blue and the green that you see around that is the actual debris ball. Again, around that mesocyclone, very large mesocyclone, fancy word for rotating thunderstorm, likely producing a destructive tornado on the ground right now. All right, going back over to the larger radar, this is not the only storm that's out there. Again, Joplin, you're in the clear, at least for now. There are more storms approaching from the south and west that will also need to be monitored. We do have additional tornado warnings. One actually making its way north of Quincy into the state of Illinois. Tornado warnings north of Columbia near Moberly. We've got a tornado warning in Nevada. Joplin, again, the tornado warning is technically still in effect for you, but it's lifting north. If you live in Carthage, look out. They've just issued a very rare, I think that's a tornado emergency they just issued. Tornado emergency for that town that I have a hard time pronouncing. Somebody tell me how to pronounce this. Oronago. Is that correct? Anybody familiar with this? The Weather Service just issued a tornado emergency. Guys, you need to take your shelter immediately. Joplin, you're safe for now. But that's a tornado emergency. Let me label that properly for you. And we hate to see this, guys. I mean, we absolutely hate to see this, but that's a tornado emergency that you're seeing. That's in effect right now for that area. In the blazing, I don't know, what would you call that color? Purple, pink. Let's go back over to our other radar. A tornado emergency is very rare. You never want to see that. But I can definitely see why they've issued that. Let's zoom on in, our friends there. And what's the name of the town? Did somebody get that for me? It's Oronago. That's from our friend Pax Humana. Thank you for that. Oronago. Tornado emergency, Oronago. I'm going to have to practice that, but you know if you live there, you need to be underground. again, underground. It's not good enough for you to just be in the middle of your slab home. You need to be underground on this storm. It's moving at about 25 miles per hour. If you can't get underground, you need to get out of its way, assuming you have time. I want you guys to be extra vigilant with this. So there it is. Where's that TDS? Again, the debris field associated with that, it's moving towards you. Debris from underneath that supercell. It's lofted. It's in the air. Looking at normalized rotation, that is a very strong indicator, showing a threshold of 8, and that's very high. Oronogo, the town of Oronogo, that is a tornado emergency. There are pics, I believe, showing up. I might be able to get some of those on your feed in just a moment, but once it, and after it passes through Oronogo, I might be able to pick up some pictures. But hey, guys, keep in mind, this thing, it's in a moderate risk of severe weather. The atmosphere is primed for this storm to sustain. So if you live in Carthage, heads up, this thing's coming. You're next. You're not in the warning yet. I think it's just a matter of time before you will be. So, okay, real quick, we'll take a look at what this storm looks like from a three-dimensional perspective. This is a massive supercell thunderstorm. And this is the way it looks from my perspective. This is what we call volume scan, and this allows us to take a look at the storm from a three-dimensional perspective. So, I mean, this is an extremely tall storm, well over 50,000 feet. It's got that tilted updraft. It's got a massive hook echo on it. And again, you're looking at some of the cities. Oronogo, you need to be below ground. Carthage, this is coming at you. Again, no warning yet, but I think that's just a matter of time. And this is the worst. This is not a good signature at all. This is normalized rotation, and the whole body of that storm is spinning and spinning so fast. That is the surface reflection there in the bright yellow. Basically an indicator that this is pretty much a no-doubter. This storm is on the ground, it's doing business, and you need to get out of its way. So a ton of rotation within this storm. Let's bring it back on over. And this is what it looks like right now on analyst radar. Carthage, it's getting closer. It is on top of Oronogo. Did I say it right? Oronogo. It is on top of you now. I do hope that you've taken your precautions. I hope you're underground, or you've gotten out of there. There's a side-by-side between what we're seeing with reflectivity, what we're seeing with normalized rotation. There's your storm relative velocity, still very angry looking storm, where we've got 72 mile per hour winds away from the radar site. On the south side of it, it's down to about 40, so it's come down just a touch, but still 70, 40. You're looking at 110 mile per hour effective rotation. Citizens report heavy tornado damage near Fur and Black Cat. I don't know what that is. Is that a town? Are those two roads? That's coming in from law enforcement. Tornado on the ground northwest of Oronogo. That's coming in from law enforcement. Okay, so Joplin has finally turned off their sirens. That's good. And that gets us up to date on this particular storm. 212 people on here now. Thank you for joining us. This is WxLIVE Now. If you haven't already subscribed or hit the notification, please do so, and also help to share the word that we're seeing, again, large, potentially very deadly tornadoes on the ground tonight. And it comes with a deep sense of irony that this is occurring on the 8th anniversary of the deadliest tornado in modern U.S. history. Of course, referring to the May 22nd, 2011 Joplin tornado. So devastating to so many people. Fortunately, Joplin appears to have been spared, at least by the initial storm tonight, but I don't want you to let your guard down. Nasty storm, again, tornado emergency. This is over Oronogo, but it's also heading towards Brooklyn Heights. If it holds together, and the storm shows no signs of weakening right now, then Carthage, you are next. Okay? Get the word out. Do you have friends? Do you have family in Carthage? The Weather Service has not pulled the trigger yet. I think it's just a matter of time before they do. And if they do, it may also be a tornado emergency. This is this is type of wording that you don't use very often. Earlier in this show, we explained what the PDS, the particularly dangerous situation, is when it comes to watches. That's the type of watch that was issued by the Weather Service, a PDS. And now we go with the heightened wording when it comes with regard to the actual warning itself. And you could just go tornado warning, but when they're sure it's on the ground, and when they're sure it's large, destructive, and it's going to hit a population, you throw out the tornado emergency. That's all. So there's a big difference between a tornado watch, a tornado warning, and then the tornado emergency. It should be watch, warning, emergency. Emergency means we know people are going to die if they don't act. And so that's what we're here to do, is to help encourage people to take action. And hopefully that's what the people of Oronogo did do. And hopefully Carthage, you're listening to me now because you're not underneath a warning yet. You need to be under a warning, in my opinion. I think it's just a matter of moments before the Weather Service decides to issue that. I'm not exactly sure what the weight is. Maybe they're debating on whether Carthage 2 should be underneath a tornado emergency. It hasn't been issued yet. I think it's just a matter of time. You can see that, yeah, I see that as well. That's coming in from National Weather Service. Rotation strengthening near Oronogo. And here it goes, tornado warning. Okay, that does continue. For Jasper County, confirmed large destructive tornado was located over Oronogo, 8 miles west of Carthage, moving east at 20 miles per hour. And the fact that we haven't got the warning out yet, I don't understand why. Carthage needs to be under a tornado warning. Please tell me they've got one coming soon. That bright flashing pink and purple, well, that's the actual tornado emergency. Let's bring you back over to analyst radar. And it's still not out for Carthage yet. I don't believe it. I don't understand. All right, well, regardless, if you can hear me and you're in that area, you need to take shelter if you live in Carthage. Hopefully this will pass to your north, but there's no guarantee of that. There's the tornado warning. Okay, they just issued it. This is for tornado warning for Benton, Missouri. Okay, so is this a separate storm? Let me back it up and look. Benton, where are you at? This is not it. Okay, that's it. This is central part of the state, so they still have not acted on Carthage. We do have more tornado warnings that I'm going to investigate once we have the opportunity. I just want to keep the focus on the most dangerous storm. This is it. And you can see as I put this into motion, we're watching the trends on this storm. It looks like it's cycling. That may be what they're waiting for. Tornado north of Oronogo, heading towards Purcell and Alba on the ground. This is from law enforcement coming in right now out of southwest Missouri. So they are saying it's on the ground. And I'm watching this thing. Are you all watching this with me? Is it just me, or does it look like it's trying to make a right turn? When I say right turn, that means it goes from going northeast to more of an easterly direction. Watch that center of circulation moving north and east in that last couple of frames there. Well, we'll see. What we do know is that we've got confirmation this thing is still on the ground. It's still doing a lot of damage. I think Carthage, you might get lucky. This latest frame shows it lifting a little bit towards Alba. So let's hope that you guys are able to miss this, because that is a populated area. New severe thunderstorm warnings coming down the pipe for Crawford, Kansas, and Barton, Missouri. All right, checking over with our friends on YouTube. We've got 260 people in the room right now. Thank you. This is a new channel, by the way, so if you haven't subscribed or hit the notification, do that, please. And also help to continue to perpetuate the word. Get the word out that we're on here. You know, there's a lot of misinformation that you find on social media about severe weather. You have guys that act like they're meteorologists that are not. Well, know that you're in a safe zone here. I am a fully certified AMS CBM meteorologist. That's American Meteorological Society. I'm a certified broadcast meteorologist. I've been doing this professionally since 2000. I've got over 20 years of experience forecasting, and particularly forecasting severe weather across the plains. I've spent time in Texas. I've spent time in Kansas. I've spent time in Mississippi, the Ohio River Valley, more recently the Great Lakes. So I appreciate you guys being on here. Update on Pittsburgh, please. That's no problem. We can go back over to Darren says amazing pics coming in from north of Joplin. I'm going to have those on here, by the way. Just give me a couple of moments. I'll pull those up on my Twitter feed. I know they're there. In the meantime, I want to take an overview, look at everything that's happening, and then we'll reassess the situation for the tornado near Alba. Right now, that is a large confirmed tornado. Working on the downstream tornado warning for Jasper County. That's coming in from the National Weather Service. So here's the bigger picture. While you're looking at this, I mean, just look at how many tornadoes are active right now. Amazing. And not in a good way either. That's just a very, very busy picture tonight. We don't like to see that. Just so many storms out there. We've got a lot to investigate. So we'll get to that here in just a moment. I am pulling up my Twitter, and that should have, here it is. We should be able to get the pictures that way from what's going on. I'll have that up for you in just a moment. In the meantime, we keep on plugging along. The tornado that was heading towards Joplin fortunately lifted to the north. I'm very happy to say that that Joplin has been spared, at least for that storm. Looking at some of the pictures now, and there it is. All right, so I'm going to show you this. And give me just a moment. I'm going to bring that up. But again, we're getting pictures of that tornado coming in from very close to Joplin, just north of Joplin. And that's a large vortex, my friends. Large vortex. Okay, you should be able to take a peek at this in just a moment. I'm going to go back over to Analyst Radar. I've got the pictures coming for you. I just want to make sure that we're not missing anything. Again, still a large tornado in progress observed. Okay, and it looks like the town of Carrollton, you're next in line. Carthage, you're going to get spared. It's going to miss you just to the north. It was near Alba. But Carrollton, I want you guys to go ahead and take your precautions right now. Get underground. Get away from the storm. Very dangerous. The velocities come down a touch, but we've seen it do this before. Velocities go down, and then they spike back up as the tornado cycles. So we're going to watch it as it undergoes the cycling process. In the meantime, I promised you that we'd have some pictures up. So I'm going to pull those up for you now. Again, a large, what appears to be very destructive tornado. This is a picture that was shared by Stu Ostro. You may know him from the Weather Channel. So let me pull that up for you. And there it is. Can you see that right there in the middle of your screen there? Appears to be a large tornado. This is forwarded from Stu Ostro by John Serlin. He said numerous power flashes, lots of emergency vehicles responding. Here's a look at it. Massive tornado at 8:10 p.m. 8:10 Central Time. This was 24 minutes ago, 25 minutes ago. Okay. Looking through the feed here, I see some other tornadoes. That's the one that everybody's talking about at the moment. Impressive. I mean, you can't even see the other edge of that twister. And that photo by Andrew Pritchard, about 8:10, so about 25 minutes ago. Okay, well, let's go back over to current radar. Again, large outbreak of tornadoes in progress. Here's a look at the storm that gave Joplin quite the scare. And now it's unfortunately wreaking havoc on other parts of southwest Missouri. It does look like that the circulation is not quite as intense as it was earlier, but it's still intense. And new information coming in from the Weather Service: Jasper County storm developing new circulation west of the original. Okay, so basically what they're saying is that the original one is now beginning to occlude. I see what he's looking at. So what he's identifying on here, and let me zoom on in, show you what they're thinking. So the idea is that maybe, oh, and we're seeing that new image coming in now. Well, I still see a pretty good circulation right over Carrington. So folks in Carrington, I hope you're taking your shelter. Going to need to do that now. Let me redraw that. There it is. That's the circulation. So that's going to be somewhere right in this proximity. Oh, let me move you back. I'm going to take a look at the rest of, let's go on over to, there's your echo tops and there's your correlation coefficient. Okay. Let me go back to that. And what have I done here? Okay, so I'm going to try to find that best area of circulation. We're placing a marker on that right now. And then if I come on over to the other one, I'm going to place CC, see if there's evidence of a tornadic debris signature. There is, but it's not as impressive as it was earlier, which is okay by me. But I don't think the storm's going to weaken, and if it does weaken, it's not going to weaken for very long. So this is a storm we're going to have to continue to monitor quite heavily. So let's get checked back in. Again, we were looking at some pictures just a moment ago. Back on over to the YouTube control room where we've got about 290 people on here right now. Great crowd. Please subscribe if you haven't already and hit the notification, as again this program is designated to cover severe weather and high-end events. This certainly is that. It looks like a lot of people on here, so thank you for the help getting the word out that we're on here, hopefully to provide some advanced warning for those that may be impacted by these potentially very, very destructive and potentially deadly tornadoes. I know that there was the other night when we had the Red River Valley outbreak that, there was a high risk that was actually issued for that, and some people said they were disappointed. And I don't understand the mentality of someone that would say that. I would love to be disappointed from this point forward, going forward tonight, just because of so many people that are involved. You just don't want to see this stuff. However, it is happening. It is real, and so that's why we're on here. All right, so going back over to this is our other radar showing you the kind of large perspective, because sometimes when you get in the middle of these events you lose perspective. There are so many warnings right now. Let's count them. That's 1, 2, 3 west of Tulsa, 4 in Oklahoma, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 active tornado warnings right now. There are 12 tornado warnings currently. Okay, so National Weather Service out of Springfield does continue tornado warnings for both. That's for Benton, Missouri. They say that the tornado was located over Cole Camp, or 17 miles northeast of Warsaw, and it's moving to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. Also getting some non-confirmed damage reports out of that storm as well. Large damaging, if not downright destructive tornado producing storm that is recycling as we speak. So I do see circulation right on top of Carrington, and it is tightening back up. Let's dive on in. So Carrington, we've got winds on the north side about 65 miles per hour. To the south, about 45 miles per hour. That's gate-to-gate shear of 115, or make that 110 miles per hour. We'll put this back into motion. In the meantime, I ordinarily do another program at this time, and it's on a local channel. I do want to give those guys a heads up that we're on here instead. For my friends at WxLIVE at 9:45, know that I'll be on here sharing this live again, but we're covering primarily severe weather with my wife, aka Lisa Ray. She's joining us here, and that's good because I could use your hand, by the way. It's gotten a little busy in here.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
What can I do?
Well, I'll tell you what we'll do is we're going to have you fire up TweetDeck over here, and you can monitor those reports as they come in. I'm also going to get this feed up and running over to my Facebook page as quickly as I can, so I'm not going to be distracted by that. Your hair looks nice. Everybody say hi to.
Thank you.
Everybody say hi to the love of my life here.
Oh.
This is my wife, Lisa. She's been helping me with these live shows. You haven't been as active with the severe weather, but we knew that this day would come. Well, we're going to need you.
I feared this day would come, and here it happened.
And you're going to
sooner than I thought.
You're going to be a great addition, hon. A great addition to this show.
Oh, what is that saying? Error. YouTube is not receiving enough video.
It's doing okay. It's we've got.
Oh, that there might be buffering.
Yeah, but we do want to say hi to our 292 friends. 297 friends in here live on YouTube.
Wow.
We want to thank everybody for being in here. And so we're kind of multitasking. This is something you can do immediately.
Oh.
You see this? If you could just read what the Weather Service is saying while I get this up, that would be a big help.
Does it beep at me?
It is. There's a new tornado warning message right here for St. Clair in Vernon, Missouri. There's another one, hon. It just came in. Can you read it? How are your eyes? Do you need your glasses? These are the questions
Don't worry, guys.
I have to ask.
We're
all right.
The old folks that need the glasses.
All right, so we are sharing this over on our Facebook page live now.
That doesn't help.
If you do the
There's a tornado emergency no longer in effect.
Oh, thank goodness.
But still a dangerous storm, however.
You just scared me. All right, so and the storm that they're talking about was the one that moved north of Joplin. Joplin, again, they had a scare, but it's a miss, a confirmed miss for Joplin. That is a pretty nasty looking circulation, though, near Carrington.
Okay.
And this is something that we want to pay careful attention to. And so, are you recording properly?
Are we on 9:45?
Copy. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give them something tonight. So give us just a moment. We'll get back to your dedicated programming. I'm going to take this down. Doesn't seem to be behaving properly. Okay, it's bringing you back up.
It beeps.
All right, so what do we've got? This is a look at that storm. Again, really, really nasty looking circulation located very close to Carrington. I'm showing we've got outbounds at about 65 miles per hour. Inbounds coming in here at about 25. That's about 90 mile per hour effective shear. Coming on over to the other radar source, and you can see we are just absolutely lit up tonight. Okay, so I need to bail out of this. And this is live now. Looks good. This is not good, though. Why are you not good? Okay, capture device. Okay, capture window. That's why it's not looking at the right thing.
Figure it out.
We'll see. Where's Jack when you need him? Jack!
I know, I wish Jack was sitting in this chair instead of me.
Really trying to multi-stream. I said
multitask?
That's what I meant to say.
Or multi-stream.
Multi-stream, multitask.
Yeah.
Doing all sorts of things all the wrong way. So. And I'm getting volume.
Okay.
I mean, that should be it. I say we just do it.
Okay.
Start
Going live.
streaming. We'll see what it does. Turn off volume. Oh.
Oh no.
Oh wait, that's not me. That's that other guy.
Oh, that can't be
That's
good.
that other guy. Never mind, that's not me.
It doesn't look
So,
good.
did we get this to operate correctly? No, we did not.
Okay.
Still don't know why. All right, let's get back to our YouTubers. Hopefully our Facebook friends will find us.
What would you like me to do?
Just, I need you to share this link.
Is there no way to get us live?
We are trying. I'm still attempting to figure out where the problem is.
It's currently active.
Okay. Okay.
It says tornado warning
Right.
near Warsaw.
Okay, that's for Benton. Let's get back on in here, and we'll see about our Facebook crowd in a bit. That storm still showing a lot of circulation with it. We've got wind speeds on the order of about 70 mile per hour. That's moving away from the radar site. We've got winds moving in about 50. So about 120 mile per hour gate to gate shear with this storm. That's plenty enough for it to do business. Where is it going? It's south of Jasper. It's heading towards Golden City. All right, for our 285 YouTubers that are on here now, I want to thank you guys for being a part of this program. We just launched it Friday, and already we're seeing great support. The purpose of this program is to cover severe weather in a very informational way and a nice, so hype way, not such a sensational way that you oftentimes will find through various forms of media and social media, particularly when those that are performing it are not trained meteorologists. You're not going to have that problem here. I've been in the business for over 20 years. I've got my AMS. It's the American Meteorological Society seal of approval. I'm a certified broadcast meteorologist. I've worked in Texas, Kansas, Mississippi, Ohio, the Ohio River Valley, portions of the Northeastern Great Lakes. So my resume is good. You guys can trust the information that I'm bringing you, and I just appreciate you guys being here. So if you haven't hit the subscription, if you haven't rang the bell for the notification, please do so. And if you don't mind sharing, helping to get the word out tonight that we are covering the severe weather event. A lot of people on here, Joplin didn't get hit. They did not get hit. That's from Mark, and I can confirm that. It went just north of them. It was quite a concern, though, when it took a right turn towards that city. And keep in mind, Joplin today is the 8-year anniversary of the deadliest tornado in modern history. The deadliest tornado since 1947. I did a blog on this just a little while earlier, and it's really hard to believe.
Can you make Jack moderator on YouTube?
Yeah, Jack.
You can do it by clicking 3 dots next to his name.
Good idea, Jack. Let's see. Jack, looking for you. When was your last comment?
Jack, can you comment? So There's so many.
Found you, Jack.
Oh, good.
Okay, you're a moderator.
Okay,
now,
good.
I want you to wield your power, okay? But don't abuse it. Don't abuse your power.
Oh, you know what happens when you start abusing the power.
Wield it, but don't abuse it. All right. Very, very angry looking signature over on radar. And here it is. This is your analyst radar. By the way, this is my wife, aka Lisa Ray, on Facebook.
Hi.
Are you on YouTube yet? Do we need to make an account for you? I think we need to make her an account.
You keep saying this about all the social medias.
Well, yeah, it's important.
I just recently got, what was it?
Instagram.
Yes.
She was late to the Instagram game.
Yes.
But she's on there now. That's Lisa Ray Kappell? What are you under?
It's Lisa Ray Kappell.
All right, so we've got all types of... This is an ugly, ugly looking storm. Let me do a little bit of telestrating. And look at that circulation right there. That is nasty. And that corresponds with this hook echo you see right here. And that is likely not precipitation that you're seeing, by the way. That is likely debris.
And that says here, tornado on the ground, redbud east-northeast.
Okay, so it's moving east-northeast. There's a tornado on the ground at 50 in redbud east. I don't know which one they're talking about. That's law enforcement coming in from the state of Missouri. We'll get back to that in just a moment. What we know is this one is on the ground. There's no doubt. This is the storm that passed just a little while earlier to the north of Joplin. I'm happy to say that it passed safely. Now that's a debris ball. That right there is likely just like debris. That could be trees, it could be houses, I don't know what it is, but that's debris. And we can verify that by hitting CC. Watch this. Watch that turn to blue. There it is. I'm going to go back over here because that also lines up very well. Again, we're verifying this thing is definitely on the ground. Debris ball evidence, TDS, evident. This right here, that's likely debris that's lofted in the air that the radar is picking up.
Wow.
So, dangerous looking storm moving towards Golden City, Lockwood. You're not under a warning yet, but eventually I think warnings will need to be issued for that area, maybe moving towards Greenfield. Kind of a wide zoom showing what's happening out there. We've got 280 people on YouTube right now. We tried to get it up on Facebook. I might make another attempt. But again, we're trying to direct everybody over. And then did I... Yeah, is Facebook even up or is it down?
Why do you think it's down?
Because it's just not behaving correctly at all.
Facebook.
All right, so yeah, it might be up. I am getting some shares out of this deal. Okay. And we'll try it one more time for our friends that normally have us join in at Weather Live at 9:45. That's a Facebook-based program that we do stream to another channel on YouTube. Let's see.
Need to do the prayers.
Yeah, there's something wrong when it comes up. It's not normally white like that. It normally comes up where it's already...
Is it because, well...
I don't know. There's a setting changed. Oh. Wait a minute.
You think you get it?
No, I didn't get it. Mm-hmm. Yep, this is going to be a Jack Allen special. If I've ever seen one. All right,
Jack,
that's okay.
Where are you when we need you?
That's all right. All right, we'll stay focused on...
yeah, Melissa said she's watching with Jack's link. She couldn't find it on Facebook yet.
It's not going to be on... We're not going to be able to stream this one on Facebook. We're having an issue. But we're staying right here with our YouTube friends. We've been on for about an hour and a half. We had quite a scare earlier as this potential tornado approached the city of Joplin on the 8th anniversary of the worst tornado disaster in modern history. And we were very, very relieved when it lifted to the north and moved away from the city, but it provided quite a scare. But Now that's the good news. The bad news is we've got a lot of tornadoes, potential tornadoes still out there right now that we want to continue to provide coverage for. So let's get to the latest, and I want to take you on over to our other radar units. And you can see it's just lit up tonight, not just in one location either. And I want you guys to keep in mind this entire area was placed underneath a moderate risk of severe weather. This was earlier by the Storm Prediction Center. That moderate risk continues at this hour from Tulsa to near Springfield and up into central sections of Missouri. That does include southeastern Kansas. Somebody was asking about Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's seeing a thunderstorm, but it's non-severe.
Golden City is receiving pea-sized hail.
Okay, good information, hon. This is the PDS watch is the yellow shaded region.
What is that? Not for media release.
That means you're not supposed to be talking about it.
Am I allowed to say what I see?
No, but I can look at it.
Yeah, that's...
All right. So just know that we know that there are tornadoes and some of them are on the ground right now. That's not from them. That's for me. So this whole yellow area...
Not for media release. Oh.
Yeah. This whole yellow area here, this is represents that PDS tornado. What she's doing is she's reading a chat that's coming directly from the National Weather Service. And so oftentimes we can get the information before it gets released out, other forms of media. And so that's great for when it comes to tracking severe weather in real time. So I'm going to take you guys, we're going to show some more pictures here in a moment, but this is a live look at analyst radar. And this is one of the most valuable tools available in the business when it comes to tracking severe weather. We've still got that very dangerous looking storm. And again, I believe this to be a debris ball. And it's just amazing the structure of this thing.
Daniel Fields, what was the size of the tornado that approached Joplin?
When it was approaching Joplin, it's difficult to describe its size based on radar imagery, but I'll tell you what I can do is I can show you the picture of it when it passed to the north. And let me pull up one of those pictures. We'll come back to this because it looks like we're in between towns. But Golden City, just know that you're next in line to receive this storm. I'll show you what it looked like. What's his name? Patrick?
It was Daniel Fields.
Daniel. Okay. Let me show you what this thing looked like. And where'd it go? Getting so many pictures coming in from this.
Mr. Squishy says, I just received a text from my boyfriend who lives in Webb City, and he said they are in the clear for now.
Okay. We've got 290 people on YouTube right now. Thank you for being here. I'm showing pictures next of what that storm has looked like, the ones that have come in so far this evening. Look at that. And when you see one side of the horizon but you don't see the other, that's never a good sign. And at one point we believe this thing was very large, and certainly according to radar it's been very violent at times. This is another look at that tornado. This picture coming in from Colin Davis on Twitter, looking east from Carrington. So lots and lots of images again of what appeared to be a very large and likely violent tornado on the ground. This is a video, and you've got the warning siren. I gotta turn that off though.
Man,
that's coming in from Richard Lewis. It looks like nobody's retweeted this one yet.
It's rain in the basement on that one.
That's pretty bad. Let's see what else we've got on here, and continuing to get the information in from the National Weather Service.
Extremely dangerous tornado was located near Golden City, 11 miles southeast of Lamar, moving northeast at 25 miles per hour.
All right, let's go back over to the radar and let's get busy. Let's get cracking here. So here's your analyst radar, and there's that storm. Ugly, ugly looking signature. Okay, so tornado warning does continue for Benton and Morgan counties in Missouri until 9:15. The storm, capable of producing a tornado, was located 7 miles south of Cole Camp, or 12 miles northeast of Warsaw, moving northeast at 25 miles per hour. They have the observe tag. They're continuing this north and east. You can see who's next. Arcola, Golden City, maybe towards Lockwood. This storm has had a long history producing tornadic rotations, and I don't see any reason why it's going to slow down now. Here's a look at the normalized rotation, and it's still bright hot. Anytime you see green, there's a good chance it's producing a tornado. Once it gets into the yellow, it's very likely. We've occasionally see reds on here, and that tells me this storm has been doing business. It's been doing business for a while. It looks like it did come very close to the town of Carrington, just north of Carrington. It likely was on the ground at that time. And so here's the latest look at it. Golden City, you're going to be next. I want you guys to take your precautions right now. This storm is massive, and we're gonna have to take a look at this in the third dimension here. I do this occasionally to get an idea of what the structure of the storm is looking like. And let's see if I can pull that up for you. There it is. And just look at that. So what we've done is we've taken off the lower returns. What you can see clearly is the storm is up over 50,000 feet. It's got a tremendous amount of tilt associated with that. There's the tilted updraft in red. There's likely a lot of hail that's vaulted with this storm. Looking at the rotation in the third dimension, and wow. Okay, you see those twin tubes. That's air that's rotated in opposite directions very fast, very rapidly. So basically what you're looking at is the mesocyclone of the storm that actually produces the tornado. You can see how high up into the atmosphere it goes. And it's reaching all the way almost to the top of the storm. This thing is rotating from the top of the storm all the way down to the ground. What that tells me as a meteorologist is that this is not going to go away anytime soon. So what you're seeing out there now as far as tornadic activity, that's going to continue to be a problem. And that is a nasty, nasty looking signature. I just can't emphasize that enough. And you're probably hearing all the activity over here on our NWS chat. They are that busy. Golden City is about to take a direct hit. That's the town of Golden City. I can't urge you guys enough to get underground. I don't think it's safe enough for you to just get into the middle of your home. This is one of those storms you have to get underground. Tornado warning for Benton, Missouri. That continues until 9:30.
Rebecca Whitmire says Quincy sirens went off.
Okay, so I'm looking for Quincy, and again, this is not the only storm out there, but it's the most dangerous storm. That's the reason I've been tracking this one as hard as I have. There's another confirmed tornado, I'll say, north and east of Tulsa. And when we have a moment, we'll come back and pay closer attention to that one. That one does not appear to be nearly as impressive as the one up here in southwest Missouri. Golden City, that storm is on top of you. I do hope that you're taking your precautions. That's just an ugly, awful looking signature, one that you oftentimes will only see from the most violent tornadoes. And that, yeah, that hook echo is going to move right over the city, Golden City. So that's not you. Where are you at? There. Okay, so that's the hook echo that I just drew. It was a bad drawing. And there's the actual velocity signature, a very tight couplet. Now, what happens when, well, actually, I want to measure this. Can you read that, hon? Right there at the bottom of the screen.
Is that 91.7?
91.7 miles per hour, moving away from the radar site. And on the other side, can you read that?
Negative 61.
Negative 61. So you got 90 plus 60. That's 150 mile per hour rotation is what that is. That's a big boy storm. That's about as strong as we've seen tonight.
And this one going into Golden City?
Going into Golden City right now. If I hit this, I can guarantee you, you're going to find yourself a TDS. I'm going to place a marker right in the middle of that yellow triangle. You come on over to CC, and there's the blue. That is on the ground, doing damage. It's likely a large, violent tornado. I'm going to guess this is likely wedge form, maybe something like some of the images we were seeing from this earlier when it was making its way just to the northwest of Joplin. Again, Joplin spared on the 8th anniversary of the most deadly tornado in modern history. We've got 332 people in the room right now. Thanks for coming over to our channel to watch this live streaming coverage of the severe weather across southwest Missouri, northeastern Oklahoma, and southeastern Kansas. This is a new channel. We just launched it Friday. So if you don't mind, a quick subscription and hit the notification. We'll be able to continue to provide you guys service with future events. The purpose of this channel is only to cover the higher end events, high-end severe weather events, especially ones that impact populated areas. Those are the ones that we want to help protect. You guys are doing a good job. I see the numbers now up to 350 concurrent viewers. Thank you very much for that. My name's Jeremy Kappell. I'm a broadcast meteorologist veteran of 20 years, and this is my wife, and sometimes co-host. We just call her Lisa Ray. But thank you for being here and helping us to get the word out that we're covering these.
I'm not used to covering severe weather, so I'm a little out of my
We'll get her up to
zone.
speed. We have another
I
talk.
understand we have tornadoes.
Right, which is why we're focused.
This looks serious.
And I want to encourage my friends over on Facebook. We're not streaming on Facebook. Oftentimes we'll do both. Tonight we're not. We're just YouTubing it. But my friends on Facebook do have if you would encourage them to share that link.
Okay.
Okay, you can do that right here. So just go ahead and...
Well, I mean, I've already shared it. You want me to...
Yeah, take the link and share away on mine again. I want them to know that we're here and put some urgency on here because, guys, this is worse than the event that we saw 2 nights ago that we thought was going to be bad. That one didn't turn out to be too bad. This is bad. So I just want to make sure that we're doing everything that we can to get the word out, getting people, getting the notice that we're on YouTube covering this event. Golden City's getting clobbered right now. And I just hope that these guys did the right thing. And they took their shelter, they took their precautions. You can see we put that in motion for you.
You want to put urgent on there?
No, look, tornado outbreak in progress across portions of Oklahoma, Missouri, and southeast Kansas. Just say Oklahoma and Missouri. Joplin, I mentioned Joplin. Joplin, Missouri had a narrow miss, and now we're watching possible violent tornadoes tearing into southwestern and central
Oklahoma?
portions of the state. This is Missouri primarily.
Does this look right?
Yeah. Near. Let's go near.
Okay.
And then ongoing coverage via All right, good enough. That's good enough for the now. All right, so let's get caught up. New information coming in from the National Weather Service. Tornado warning does continue. Tornado damage threat considerable. Hail to 2 inches for Barton, Missouri. A confirmed large and dangerous tornado was located over Golden City, or 10 miles southeast of Lamar, moving northeast at 35 miles per hour. They went ahead and they canceled the warning that was in effect for Jasper, as that storm is now moving away. Let's take a look at the other radar again, kind of a broader perspective. It does have that PDS tornado watch that remains in effect. They're lifting the tornado watch for Oklahoma City, which is good. But also new tornadoes are beginning to develop across portions of western and northwestern Illinois, which we may need to cover coming up in just a little bit. 330 YouTubers on here. Thanks for being on. I appreciate you guys. By the way, David Gully, I did not get a chance to thank you for dinner tonight.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you. I
That
did
was
thank
wonderful.
him because I was super excited to have that delivered as
He's-
well as eat it. So
For those who don't know, David Gully is a chef extraordinaire,
yeah,
and he delivered some smoked goodies tonight, along with a little, what was that little
the cucumber.
vinaigrette that kind of tasted like watermelon?
Landon said he thought it was marinated in watermelon juice.
It did. It kind of had.
It was very good. It was
Gosh.
all very good. Thank you, David.
All right, we continue to look at a very concerning situation near Golden City. This is in southwestern sections of Missouri. That storm, let's get the latest warning information out on that. At 9:10, so this was an hour ago, I just read you this on the chat. They're calling this a particularly dangerous situation, and this is definitely life-threatening. You want to be below ground. There's, of course, you want to stay away from mobile homes. You don't want to be in your car. If you're in your car, you better be at a safe distance getting away from this thing. Go south on that highway. What is that highway right there? I've got to get some roads in front of me. The best thing to do is to shelter in place, but mainly if you can get below ground. We're hoping this thing is weakening a little bit. We've seen this do this a number of times where it has what we call cycled. That's where the velocities begin to come down, and basically the tornado will lift, but then it reorganizes and it drops back down in an equally strong form. This thing has been going at it for a while. There you go. National Weather Service says Golden City storm is cycling. 2 tornadoes currently confirmed on the ground. So there's 2 tornadoes right now,
Okay.
and we can actually see them. And let me show you where I think that they are located at. I'm going to come on over to velocity. Here you go. So there's 2 on the ground, and they look like they're just north of the city. So here's the one. Wait. Yes, I will get back to what I was doing. There's the one right there. Let me redraw that.
Charles says it's Highway 160.
Thank you, Charles. Highway 160. Is that no? That can't be north-south.
Does that not sound right?
No, because that should be an odd number that goes north-south.
Okay.
Tornado number 1, and then over here is tornado number. No, not there. Working with Jack on this new telestration system. Got a couple kinks to work out. 2 tornadoes right there, and now they're out of frame.
And yeah, Pax on here says, sadly, building decent bedrock for basements is quite the challenge due to the soil in that part of the country.
Right.
So is that the same?
Same problem Joplin's got.
Okay.
That's the reason, and we can mix this into our conversation a little bit. But as a meteorologist and scientist, I was very close to the Joplin tornado when it occurred. We all were. This family was living in Topeka, Kansas at the time. On the night of May 21st, in fact, of 2011, I was tracking tornadoes through eastern and northeastern Kansas. In fact, one of them touched down in the city where I was working for, the NBC station in Topeka, but Topeka, Kansas was hit by a tornado. That night I witnessed an EF3 unfortunately kill a few people in Redding, Kansas. So this was the day before the Joplin storm. So there was an outbreak the day before, went through that area where I was at, and then we got to witness it right next door in Joplin, and it was shock. You remember, because we went to the lake that day. It was a Sunday. We went to the lake when we heard about it, and then we scrambled home to watch the media coverage, and my heart sank. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe in this day and age of modern radar technology, the Doppler. At the time, we even had dual pol that was becoming operational. Mm-hmm. You have all this radar technology, you have all this communication, you've got social media galore, and you can still lose 160 lives in one tornado? Unbelievable. I didn't think I'd ever see that, ever in my lifetime. But what that goes to show you is that we're still vulnerable. In this case, people waited too long to act, and when they did act, they didn't seek sufficient shelter. And in this case, it was an extreme F5. If you weren't below ground when that tornado hit, there's a good chance that you didn't survive. Or if you did, you were very much so injured. A lot of lessons learned. So we are still vulnerable, folks. These things can still be nightmares. And so, what I'm trying to do is just trying to help. Just to help increase awareness, increase people's preparation, give them a little more warning, hopefully. and then hopefully they act quicker. And you don't wait until the storm is on top of you to go into the bathroom or the hallway closet. You act sooner, and if need be, you find a neighbor with a basement if you don't have one. You go somewhere that's got a sturdy shelter.
Well, I know that's what we used to do. Our first home did not have a basement.
That's right.
Was not comfortable with that.
Mm-hmm.
But you better believe if there was a tornado warning, I would go to Mom's or someone who did have a basement.
All right, so just got a picture of the tornado in Commerce, Oklahoma. We'll forward later. So our friends in Oklahoma are also experiencing tornadoes tonight, and I don't want to not watch them. The circulation is going to move north of Lockwood over a fairly open terrain. What I want to mention is this, though. I want to look at this for a couple more frames. Okay, so this is all right, if you guys remember the Joplin event, Joplin became so bad because it was two supercells that combined. And as they combined, they strengthened, and as they strengthened, they barreled right on into Joplin, a highly populated area. So it was kind of worst case scenario. But what I want to mention is that we're seeing multiple supercells developing right now. North of Joplin, this is moving into central Missouri, western and central Missouri. But we'll have to see if these actually complete this merger. That would make that storm on the south side, which is already very strong, that could potentially make this a very violent tornado. I mean, it's already been bad, but we're going to have to watch that. That's something that we'll come back to in time. I do want to investigate these other tornado warnings. I'm looking for observed. There's only one observed, and that's the one that we're covering for you right now. But let's move on down to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I'm going to take a look at that radar in just a moment. In the meantime, this is a look at the big picture. Again, we're lit up with just all types of warnings and watches. That is a PDS, particularly dangerous situation, tornado watch that continues until midnight Eastern, 11 o'clock Central Time. So
can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
You can know a rating. This comment right here.
Yeah, okay, let's not jump to conclusions about ratings before National Weather Service. Jeremy has no idea about the rating before anybody else does. Jacob, no, and I'm not presuming a rating on any of these, but I can tell you from experience that when I see 150 mile per hour gate-to-gate shear, that's an EF3 every time. Okay, I've never not seen that equate once you're at a reasonable level on the radar. But you're right, we wait until the National Weather Service comes back in and assess the damage. It doesn't make a difference what it is. We know that the threat's there, and we know that the threat is there for significant tornadoes, and so that's why I'm here trying to help give out advanced warnings. So that's the only goal here tonight.
Rick on here says, Rick, you gonna try to say that name? We
We
love to butcher last names, so I'm gonna let you do that.
Saint maybe?
We'll call him Saint because he did survive the Joplin tornado, and he says never
awesome.
Again. Well, I'm very glad that you
Rick, do you still live in
are
Joplin?
here to
'Cause I
talk
know,
about that.
ask him if he still lives in Joplin, because I know a lot of people that left.
Yeah. But I mean, they left after, because I guess the destruction was just the rebuilding. What?
Yep.
Yeah. Joan Steinberg on here. I hope everyone gets out of there safe.
Absolutely. All right, coming back over, let's see, we've got about 326 people on this YouTube feed now. Thank you for that. If this is your first time, please hit the subscribe and hit the notification, and help share this video if you haven't already tonight, helping to reach people that may not have been aware that this is turning out to be quite a tornado outbreak. Unfortunately, I have used the word violent. Some of these are likely violent tornadoes. I'm not going to mince my words. All right.
Jacob on here, he says, thank you to you. I was referring to the people in the chat trying to rate it prematurely.
Oh, got you. Understood.
Okay. Thanks, Jacob.
Appreciate that. Okay, so we're down in Oklahoma, and this is another pretty nasty signature. So now we are down, trying to give you proximity to Tulsa. So we're a couple counties east of Tulsa, approaching the kind of the tri-state area of Arkansas, Missouri, and Oklahoma, where they come together. So that would be close, not too far away from Bentonville.
Rick does now live in Nashville.
Okay, so he did relocate. A lot of people did.
Wow, yeah.
I wonder, ask him if he's got a basement.
Yeah.
So,
Devin Paxter, he's in Joplin.
what was the feeling tonight, Devin? Ask him when he heard the tornado sirens going off. If you can hear me, maybe he'll just respond.
So why don't you ask him?
I just did. Okay, so I'm watching this storm here in Missouri. Excuse me. This is northeastern sections of Oklahoma. Tornado warning remains in effect until 10 p.m. for Delaware and northeastern Mays counties. This is a Doppler radar indicated, but again, we've got a pretty nasty signature on this storm.
Do you think that this line of tornadoes will stay east of Wichita? Patty McMillan would like to know.
Okay, and yes, I do. Let me double check that, but I believe it will. Give me a moment, Patty. Patty's got her daughter down there, I believe.
Yeah, I know she has family out that way.
Okay, National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning for northern Delaware County and southeastern Ottawa County. That goes until 9:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Again, this is radar indicated. What I'm seeing is a ugly looking supercell, but I'm also seeing that the radar reflection, at least on the velocity side, it's not all that great yet. So this may be a tornado that's developing. It doesn't appear to be on the ground yet. But if you live in the town of Jay, you need to pretend like this thing's on the ground because that circulation is moving towards you very rapidly. Let me see the height of the storm. Echo tops are coming in at about 57,000 feet.
Ryan Jenkins wants to know, will Kansas City be in danger tonight?
Let's move on up to Kansas City here in just a moment. That's coming in from Ryan Jenkins, you say.
Yes.
Storm relative velocity. Let's pull back out and we're going to look at everybody. We're going to go back to the Missouri confirmed tornado. Again, dangerous storm that may be merging with another supercell. This is a look at the greater picture, the larger. How long was I on this one?
I know. So Jeffrey Shepard just said, I think you're sharing the wrong screen.
Sorry, I was sharing the wrong screen.
Thank you, Jeffrey. I just read your comment.
I occasionally do that. I'd just like to see if people are watching.
Yeah, he's just seeing if you're paying attention.
All right, this was the storm I was talking about. Again, this is...
Thanks, Jack.
This is northeast of Tulsa. The counties involved are Delaware, Ottawa, also a little while longer for Delaware and Mays counties. That's a developing tornado northeast of Tulsa. That's got a pretty ugly looking signature. I would be surprised if it doesn't develop soon. We're going to move back over to Springfield next and look at the confirmed tornado that's being reported. The latest on that, the tornado warning for Morgan County. That does continue until, what time is that? 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 o'clock Central. Also getting a report out of Golden City. Indeed, law enforcement reports there was a tornado. Major structural damage in the Golden City area. It looked like that town just absolutely got plowed. And so that's no surprise. That's what we were expecting. Somebody was asking about Wichita. Wichita is fine. This storm is going to remain to your east. Somebody was asking about Kansas City. You're going to be fine as well. I will bring up some future radar a little bit later on. You're going to get some thunderstorms that try to backbuild maybe as far north as Kansas City Metro, particularly south part of town. I don't think you're going to have a problem though. I think that this tornado watch was well placed. That is a PDS watch for much of this region you see here. PDS stands for particularly dangerous situation. There you have it. That is a imminent broadcast. Again, Tornado Watch 212 that goes until 11 p.m. Central Time. They're easy for me to say, categorizing this as a particularly dangerous situation. They don't label PDS very often, but when they do, they're saying, hey, we need to get your all's attention. We see some really bad stuff that's happening, and we want you guys to take these warnings when they come out very seriously, and hopefully that's what you guys have been doing. So let's see, where are we at? We've got 328 YouTubers on here right now. Thank you for coming on board. If you haven't already hit the subscribe button, or the notification bell, ring that for me, and hit the share if you don't mind to help get the words out that we are out here. Okay, so what about Jefferson County in Missouri? Jefferson County, remind me, is that where Jefferson City is at? Is that the capital district of Missouri? Let me know. In the meantime, we're going to go back to investigate our primary storm that we've been watching for some time now, and it has weakened a little bit in the last couple of runs, but I don't think that's going to continue. We've seen this storm cycle up and cycle down. And do you remember what I was telling you about storms when they merge? Watch the gap.
Oh,
the gap
let me
here.
get my notes out.
She's learning.
When two storms merge.
Okay, so getting a report
question?
from a Skywarn, one of the Skywarn observers, is that the tornado may have lifted northeast of Golden City, which is the storm that we're looking at now, which is good. But as I was telling you, that this one has cycled on and off multiple times.
Okay.
And what I want to show you guys next is how it may be in the process of merging with that other storm to its west. You see these two storms?
I do.
Now, if they come together,
This could be bad.
I think that's going to make for a really bad situation for areas maybe eventually Greenfield, but particularly Dadeville. They did issue a severe thunderstorm warning on that, so that's a separate warning.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got one storm that's severe, possibly combining with a tornadic thunderstorm that's already known to produce many tornadoes and possibly large and violent. You bring these two storms together, I can't imagine any sort of a scenario where that's a good thing. So
it could be in some trouble soon.
Mm-hmm.
You're on the wrong source again.
Oh, I am. Is that Jack?
Yes, it is.
Come on, Jack. You got to tell me these things sooner.
He's on it.
Okay, so we should be back on the correct source
Yes,
now.
Bob on here says share the right screen.
Sorry, working on it.
Wizard Dragon, wrong screen.
All right, I get it, people.
Thanks, guys.
I get it. So, all right, what I was talking about was the merger of a severe thunderstorm now with the possibility of a tornadic supercell. These are both rotating. The one that they just issued, the severe thunderstorm warning, that's for eastern Barton, western Cedar, southeastern Vernon, southwestern Dade. That goes until 10:15 Central, 11:15 Eastern for a storm that's capable of producing 70-mile-per-hour winds, ping-pong ball-sized hail. That's just a severe one. The tornadic storm.
Tyler has northwest of Columbia heading towards Hallsville. Please look at it.
All right, let's go to Columbia. And then I'm going to find that. Let me find the right radar. Would you suggest, you guys are in a radar, oh no, you guys are in a, you all don't have a radar. That's the problem. All right, we're going to take this southeast of Kansas City. This is KEAX. We'll come back over to that in just a moment. I was explaining, you know, we had the PDS tornado watch. Earlier, we had the tornado warning, the tornado emergency. And they're using all these heightened words tonight, usually reserved for worst case type of tornadic events.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately, you know, it's just been one of those nights, and it's been one of those events where you haven't been able to let your guard down.
Right.
We were very fortunate that Joplin did not take a direct hit. We were talking about the bedrock down here in this part of Missouri. It's just very difficult. Okay, so this is Columbia. They just issued, that is a tornado warning for Columbia. That's what the guy, he was asking about.
Okay.
So we're going to go investigate. I'm looking for the closest radar to you. And I'm afraid I'm going to have to use the one there southeast of Kansas City. I mean, it's not real close to you. That's what I don't like. Right.
Tyler says KLSX will have it.
Okay, so you want me to go out of St. Louis? Because it looks like you're right in between. I think I'm on, I think I could go either way. Tell him I'm on KEAX, and in a moment I'll sample it from KLSX. There is a very pronounced notch, and tell Tyler to thank him for getting my attention on this storm. There's a very pronounced velocity signature on here where we are showing winds of 70, 80 miles per hour moving away from the radar. And then on the north side about 35 miles, so about 110, 115 mile per hour effective shear, not gate to gate but effective. I'm going to put a center of rotation on this for you. This storm is rain wrapped. It's in the middle of a rotating supercell. Let's see if there's debris signature. It's not conclusive. So it's hard to tell if it's on the ground. It may not be on the ground. It's not confirmed. It is rain wrapped.
People are saying screen, screen.
Again? Did it again. I did it again. You guys are going to train me yet. All right. So what was his name that was alerting us to the Columbia storm? Ryan.
What's going on?
Ryan. Was that the guy that was telling us to look at Columbia?
Tyler 1890.
Tyler. Okay, Tyler. Thank you for that. And thanks for the reminders. Again, we've been on for a while, so if my mind drifts a little bit, you guys will have to forgive me. But we're carrying a great crowd tonight, so thank you very much. What do I think about the tornado that hit Manhattan, Kansas on June 11th, 2008? I was on that storm, Tate. I was working out of Topeka. I don't know if you knew that. Is that why you threw that out there? Unfortunately, I was working with some subpar equipment at the time. I've got much better radar equipment working out of my privacy of my home than I had at the moment when I was working for that NBC station, KSNT 9, out of Topeka. But that was a completely devastating storm, especially for Junction City and Abilene, if I remember correct, and then into Manhattan. That was a massive, massive, nasty storm. It was huge, and of course it was a midnight storm, so a lot of people were trying to go to bed. We were very fortunate that more people weren't killed out of the town of Chapman. I believe Chapman was the one that was utterly devastated by that storm. But you have a long memory. I'm assuming you're from there.
And Tyler does say, thank you guys, I have family right in that area.
Oh, Tyler, that's no problem.
Are you on the wrong screen again?
Probably, but I'm not.
We just assume at this point.
Right. So, no, actually, that circulation's tightening up a little bit. Harrisburg to Hallsville. You guys are right there in the middle of it. I still don't see a clear debris TDS, but they're saying this is confirmed now. So, all right. And I'm going to need to bring up what is the weather service that covers Columbia? Is it Columbia, or are you guys out of St. Louis? I think I need to bring up the St. Louis chat. Give me a moment. Okay. All right, we're joining St. Louis, and they'll have that up here in just a moment. And in fact, I think I'm going to go take my radar over to St. Louis while we're at it. And then we're going to go back to the Greenfield storm. That's southwestern parts of the state, where we may be looking at a cell merger taking place right now. And we're going to come on over to our Kappell cast, and we want to take a look into the future. So I'm going to bring up some future radar data for you guys. Also want to do a total tornado count, where in Oklahoma, 3 warnings. In Missouri, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 warnings. In Illinois, there are 4 warnings.
Your cousin.
Yep.
She says she's trying to figure out how to chat with us on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I think some people are confused that haven't been on YouTube before.
Okay.
Because I've gotten a few of these.
Well, she has to be in the live room. It has to be live. So make sure that she's in here live. And meanwhile...
Well, she says her son is currently sheltering in his basement in Stover, Missouri.
Okay.
What can you tell? What can you tell us about that area?
Let's figure out where Stover is exactly. All right, Stover, Missouri, located Morgan County. So we've been reporting about this for a while. And so, all right. Let's go back over to Analyst Radar. We'll take care of that warning. There's, again, about 11 warnings, tornado warnings that are in effect right now. And the storm that I'm watching currently is we're looking at this one located just north of Columbia. And that is not the same one for Stover. Tell her she's fine. The warning has been lifted for Stover.
Okay.
That is my cousin, Vernice Kappell.
There was a warning, though?
There was a warning. It's been lifted.
Okay.
So we're out of St. Louis right now. We're looking at Hallsville. That's a confirmed tornado. Tornado warning remains in effect for northeastern Boone County. The storm is rain-wrapped. It's moving east at 50 miles per hour. Weather spotter confirmed a tornado north of Columbia moving towards Hallsville.
So do you know, you have to click on live chat?
You've got to be, yeah, you've got to be on live.
Thank you. Okay, because, okay.
All right, so that storm, again, a safe distance north of Columbia. I'm looking to see if there's a debris signature. I'm not seeing that at this time. Let me expand my view. We're going to go back to the storm that's northwest of Springfield. I still think that this is the one to watch right now.
Your screen.
Did it again, didn't I? That's a shame.
What do you keep doing? What is the issue
I would love
exactly?
to show you exactly what I do.
Let me take over. Yeah, you know.
All right, they did just issue another tornado warning. This one is going to go east of Columbia. It does include the city of Mexico. Oxvase. I don't know if I said that right. But they're saying this thing is moving east at 50 miles per hour. We're going to go back to that. I did want to check on this one again and see if that merging process was going to continue. And maybe not. All we know is we have two storms that are interacting with one another. The one with the tornado, it is confirmed again. And this is a large warning. This is just coming in. National Weather Service has issued tornado warning for southeastern Cedar, western Polk, northeastern Dade County, and southwest Missouri at 10:15. A confirmed tornado was located near Greenfield, moving northeast at 30 miles per hour. They're talking about the possibility of a destructive tornado and also tennis ball sized hail. Some of the locations that will be impacted by this storm, it's going to pass just to your south of Arcola. Dadeville, look out. It's moving towards you. Eventually, we're looking at maybe Umbra, View Heights, Fairplay, and Aldrich. What is so funny over there?
Oh, no. Well, it is interesting because this is different than our Facebook, obviously.
Definitely different.
This is obviously much more serious. But I do appreciate Gordon Powers' comment. He said, "Okay, guys, give him a break on the screens. He's saving lives. Let him work."
Thank you.
That's sweet.
Did I do it again, though? I'm not showing the right screen again.
You've been doing it a lot.
All right, I did it again.
I think you're on the right one right now, but...
Yeah, first time that's happened in a while.
Okay, it's not looking good for, is it Peoria and Quincy, Illinois?
Chris Chambers, thank you for that. I think what are we on now?
What's going on?
Yeah, I'm being corrected. I'm good. I think I'm with it now. All right, look, we've gone back to St. Louis radar, where this storm seems to have some urgency to it. That's the one that's north of Columbia. Let me pull up some numbers for you. Tornado warning remains in effect until 10 p.m. for northeastern Boone County. So that's the warning that was already in effect, and then they expanded that to include Mexico and Ladonia and Wellsville. Tornado warning for Aldring County, northwestern Montgomery County, northeastern Callaway County, and central Missouri. That goes until 10:30 p.m. Confirmed tornado was located north of Columbia, moving towards Hallsville at 50 miles per hour. So this thing is hauling. Like, it's really hauling.
So yeah, DIY guys, tools, and techs. It looks like the cells WNW of the two merging storms is strengthening now.
Okay, I'm going to go back to that one. Just want to make sure you guys are on the right screen for once. I'm going to take you back to WSV3. And again, watching just a large outbreak of tornadoes tonight. And in a moment, what I want to do is take a look into the future. And we're going to bring up our Futurecast radar. In the meantime, I'm bouncing back. As mentioned, the storm northwest of Springfield is strengthening again.
Is that where you want to be?
Yeah. No, wait. Is that where I'm at? Yes, I'm always showing you guys the wrong thing. I need an assistant.
So yeah, you keep going on the wrong screen.
I've been on for a while.
Do you know what's going on? Like why that keeps happening?
Yeah, I'm trying to do too many things at once.
And then Tulsa is getting gnarly, says Josh Owens.
Do we need to go visit Tulsa again? Okay. Well, we're looking at the big picture here. We talked about the fact that there was a PDS tornado watch issued earlier that was followed by a tornado emergency, which is the most elevated warning you can give. We've already had one of those tonight. We don't ever like to see those. Getting all types of information coming in from the National Weather Service. We do need to catch up with them. And there it is. New tornado warning issued. Screen? Oh boy. Okay, now we got twin tornadoes.
But you're on this one.
Thank you. That's what I need. No, I'm correct. We're good.
Now I'm all paranoid. I feel like you're...
We've got twin tornadoes.
Oh, we do?
Are you live? There's a small delay
there's a delay. Well,
small
that's
delay.
Not helpful, is it?
All right, guys, we've got twins.
Really?
Yes, we do. I'm going to go back over to Springfield. Issues a new tornado warning. Radar indicated for Barton and Dade County, Missouri until 10:15 p.m. Central. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Golden City. Again, it's Golden City. That town was already hit once with major damage from the earlier storm. It looks like the circulation is just north. We talked about these two storms possibly merging, and now they're both possibly producing tornadoes at the same time. So this is going to get ugly fast. Dadeville, Greenfield, Arcola. Is it Arcola? And if you're anywhere north of Golden City, Lockwood, guys, this is right in the middle of that moderate risk. We've got all the ingredients here that we need for a significant outbreak. What are you seeing?
Benjamin on here says I have a few chaser friends out there. Apparently the storm near Jay has been producing a very low wall cloud, possible tornado.
Which one is this? Town, what, near Jay?
Near Jay? Storm near Jay.
Jay, Oklahoma. Okay. Yeah, and that's one that we have not been able to pay too much attention to. That's the one that's approaching the Missouri and Arkansas border, I believe. And once we get a little bit more time, we're going to bounce down there. In the meantime, this one's doing all types of business here. Where you've got side-by-side supercell thunderstorms. These two, they may very well merge. Watch this. Watch the history of these two storms here together. You watching them coming together? Closer and closer and closer. Now it's almost like they're chasing one another. Now the problem is, though, when you get these two and they both develop their own strong rotation, sometimes that'll conflict. That will make them not want to merge. But they're also drawn to each other through their central low pressures. It's kind of like gravity. You know, massive objects are drawn to one another. The same thing with low pressure.
What's happening here.
They're being drawn together.
Does this happen frequently then because of that?
No. But Joplin, Missouri was a classic example where you had a merger of two supercells, and we know what happened.
Clayton Ashcraft says, News 6 says Jay, Oklahoma has debris ball showing.
Okay, we're going down there now. Tell him we're going down to Jay.
And then I guess you're on the right screen. I'm trying to keep track, but it's...
Well, I'm going to bounce.
So whatever you have here,
I'm bouncing to the other one.
See here, right?
I like to go out to the bigger picture and sometimes zoom on in using multiple radars. That way, one can load and the other one we can show what's happening. This is the one with the confirmed tornado near Jay, Oklahoma. I should have that data up now on the other screen, so we'll go back to it, over to Analyst Radar. There you go. All right, so we've got a tornado warned storm to the north of Tulsa. This is not the one he's talking about, but I just wanted to acknowledge it. That tornado warning is in effect for northwestern Rogers, east central Osage, southern Washington, southwestern Nowata County. All right, and then there's this one. This is the one he said near the town of Jay.
Yeah.
This is one that we were watching forming earlier. It's got a pretty nasty looking hook on it. Let's go over to our two-panel plot, and we're looking at velocity on the right, and I would say he is correct. That is probably on the ground.
Wow.
So,
Christopher McLeod, can you please explain the variables that caused this major event tonight when 2 nights ago they thought it would be the bad night, but it's actually tonight?
right. And that's a very difficult thing to explain in just a few sentences. Just know that when it comes to tornado prediction, we always think of the big things. Oh, it's got so much cape, or it's got so much wind shear. Well, sometimes you can have too much cape. Sometimes you can have too much wind shear. It is possible, especially the wind shear. I think the other night we had too much wind shear. Some of this is nuanced. There are these just little fine symmetries that just need to come together right. Just the right amount instability with just the right amount of wind shear. We've seen this before where the ingredients just kind of come together correctly. You don't have like a squall line that kind of takes over. You don't have too much cold pooling. What you have are individual cells. They're very discrete. We don't have as much wind shear as we had the other night, which apparently is a good thing for these storms. And we still have plenty of instability. So to answer your question, it's very difficult to anticipate when something like this is going to come together days in advance. Obviously, now that we're into this event, it's obvious that this had just the right amount of ingredients. But it's kind of like when you're trying to make the perfect cake. Did you add too much sugar? Did you have enough flour in it? You know what I'm saying? To make that perfect cake, you got to play with the numbers. You got to play with the amounts of spices that you're using and ingredients that you're using. But not every cake's different. Not every tornado outbreak is the same. And so everyone can be unique in different ways. It's an extremely complicated science, as you probably know. But, we just chalk this one up. That's why we have to come back every night. Because you don't know when the ingredients will come together exactly right. This one obviously is. So Jade, this is not Jade. Jade is the name of the town that it's close to. It's actually moving towards Southwest City, Dodge. That is a very healthy looking circulation. I'm going to see if we've got a debris signature in there somewhere. We likely do. That's likely what that blue area is. I go back and it kind of follows the little notch. That is on the ground. So tornado on the ground, it has been confirmed. I'm going to go back over to Tulsa, see what they're saying on chats. This is the National Weather Service talking about what they're seeing. Let's see. We've got the observed tornado warning, and then they issued the other radar indicated tornado. The observed is for Benton, Arkansas, Delaware, Oklahoma. Confirmed, large, and extremely dangerous is the words that they're using. This came out 2 minutes ago. And then they issued the new tornado warning for Osage, Pawnee, Rogers, Tulsa, and Washington County. That one is not confirmed. That one is only based on radar. But this one here is doing, it's doing the deed. Let's take a look at normalized rotation with this one. You can see I put it into motion for you. And there it is. It looks like it's spinning like a top. Normalized rotation is an algorithm that Gibson Ridge software will use to help identify rotation. Generally speaking, I kind of loosely, whenever I see green on this map, means that a tornado is possible. Whenever you see yellow, there could be a sizable tornado occurring. So here, the tornado is possible near the town of Jay, just north of the town of Jay. And then watch as it progressed. Now it's yellow. It's bigger. I can take a three-dimensional cross-section of this guy, taking a look there before we go back to the storm that's to the north and west of Springfield, Missouri. I'd like to kind of take a look at the structure of the storm. I think for this one, maybe a cross-section would be good. You can kind of, we're going to go right through from northwest to southeast on this storm. And let's see if I can't bring this on up so you guys can look at this with me. All right, there it is. So now what we're looking at is literally a two-dimensional representation. Excuse me. It's a three-dimensional representation, but we're taking a two-dimensional cross-section. So watch as we go from north to south through this storm. This is the non-tornadic end, and what we're likely seeing is some hail on the north side of this vaulted hail core. We go south, and it's not going to quite let me get to that. It's not quite letting me get to the hook. I'll have to come back to it.
Can you tell us about Greenfield, Missouri? Someone's grandpa lives there.
In Greenfield, Missouri?
Mm-hmm.
I need a more specific location.
Okay.
Greenfield, Missouri. Wait, that's the storm we were just looking at.
Was it? Okay.
We're going to go back to that one in just a moment. I wanted to look at the structure of the storm here again near the Arkansas, Oklahoma, Missouri border. This is for Southwest City, Dodge, Knoll, Sulphur Springs, Anderson, Pineville, Jane. These are all names of towns making their way out of northeastern Oklahoma into northwestern Arkansas and southwestern portions of Missouri. Again, we've got a very obvious signature. Look, it's red now. So this is a pretty nasty storm. All right, we've got 300 people on YouTube right now. You guys have done a fantastic job of finding me, which is pretty phenomenal considering we've only been doing this for a few days now. We launched this channel on Friday, and already reaching...
you and Jack did.
Yeah.
And I wish Jack could be here right now.
Jack Allen, moderator on there.
Yes, I'm glad he's at least the moderator tonight.
He's helping out exactly where we need him right now.
He says he thinks Greenfield is okay for now. So
okay, good. So he
good.
wants me to stay on the J storm is what he's saying. And Jack, he's a bit of a weather junkie. He's also a tech nerd, which is why I like him so much. There's other reasons. There's other reasons.
Yes, lots of reasons we like Jack.
Okay, so I'm going to go over to the other tornado warnings right now that are on the other side of Tulsa. These storms, not quite as organized, but they're definitely showing hooks. You see the hook, don't you, hon? Do you see a hook or no? That's a rather large tornado warning, though.
Where is the hook at?
It's this feature right there. It looks like that.
Oh.
Do I need to tell it straight for you?
Yeah, I love that.
Oh, well, you're going to get it.
Can you tell who the meteorologist is in the family?
Yeah, it's all this one over here. All right, so, well, ooh, that's
so is that ugly. The hook?
No, that's not the hook.
Okay.
I've got to come on in here a little bit tighter. And we would do one panel.
Fun.
So.
Are you going to be,
What?
It's 11 o'clock. You are about there.
Well.
How do you feel about,
you, moving on with your life?
Me making my exit. I know I've been very helpful.
I kind of got the hook going for you there.
Is that the hook?
Right, you see how the shape
yeah,
there?
So that's what, okay.
There's the hook.
Okay, I got you.
Oh my goodness, people.
I got you.
I got to work on my telestration, okay?
Yeah, I was gonna say, your telestration needs some work, and apparently
Jack,
I need some meteorology lessons.
All right, let's get back on to...
so everything looks like hooks to me now, so I'm going to just look away.
And there's a good reason for that.
Is there?
Yeah, because all these storms are hooking, if you will. I don't want you guys taking that the wrong way. They're not hanging in the red light district, but these storms are definitely hooking.
Is there a threat in the Branson, Missouri area?
Branson is downwind of this particular storm. It's a great question.
Well, so Jack says Branson is fine right now, but please stay weather aware as conditions could change.
Yeah, this particular storm is about 3 counties away. And likely, in my opinion, would lift north and west of Branson, but it's not a 100% guarantee. I think it will. I think it's going to go north.
Jeffrey says check out by Golden City again.
Okay, I do want to check back in with that storm.
Yeah,
okay,
Golden City cycled as it went through. Another, is it couplet?
One last look
formed just to the east of Golden City as it went through.
One last look at the tri-state tornado. Can I call this a tri-state tornado since 3 states are under 1 warning? Would that be a fair description to call this a tri-state tornado? Not the tri-state tornado.
Can you explain what a bow echo is?
Well, sure, that's easy.
Well, me and Scotty would like to know.
Bow echoes are much more they're more commonly associated with squall lines of thunderstorms.
Okay.
I don't see a lot of bow echoes tonight. These are all discrete supercells, but you see a line of thunderstorms, and that literally forms a bow. This is loading, so I can show you the other radar, and I'm going to be cognizant that I'm showing you the other radar.
So Jennifer says she found our channel
Okay.
by searching for the Joplin weather, or excuse me, for Joplin live weather.
Cool. Perfect.
Very cool. Thank you, Jennifer.
That is very helpful. And
That is helpful.
We do appreciate that. And I don't see any real bows, and that's part of the reason. Somebody was asking about how come the conditions tonight are so much more favorable for tornadoes than they were last night. By the way, Branson just went under a tornado watch.
Didn't?
So Weather Service says, yeah, they may go further east. There you have it.
Okay.
So, guy from Branson, there you have it. It is very helpful to know where you guys are finding us from. So for future events, as we're trying to, again, we're a brand new channel. I've done YouTube for a while, but I've just started doing streaming, and I'm learning how it works. I am a veteran meteorologist. I've got 20 years of broadcast experience. I've worked in Kansas, I've worked in Texas, I've worked in Mississippi, Indiana, Kentucky, and also New York. So with that experience, I find it that this may be my best way to serve the public, to give back, and continuing with my broadcast career in a different format, completely different format. So it's people like you that come over, you give me tips, you tell me how you found me, and then you also subscribe, and you hit the notification button so you know when to come back, and those that are helping me share the word. I appreciate that very much. Weather's been my passion ever since I was a child, and you can vouch. I can.
Yes, I will vouch for that.
So you guys know that she likens me to Helen Hunt off of Twister.
Yes.
My parents' home and my grandparents' home were both destroyed by an F5 on April 3rd, 1974. Yes. My father's place of business was destroyed by an F4 on the same day. That may have something to do with the fact that I'm so passionate for severe weather, and particularly when it comes to tornado outbreaks. I'm very sensitive to that. With that being said, we've got a large number of tornadoes that we need to investigate, and it looks like that this event's going to go on for a while. I will give her permission to take off if she wants. She's probably...
Are you sure?
I'm just
I don't think
I'm questioning your dedication right now. You know, all right, so... Here's the.
What do you want me to do?
Greenfield. Well, I really appreciate you monitoring those comments, because I'm not able to hawk them if I'm doing all this. So maybe just another 10 minutes. We got 2 storms with confirmed tornadoes.
I can give you 10.
All right, we got 10 from her, folks.
10.
That's good.
I don't know how helpful I'm really being, but I will.
Tulsa continues tornado warning with the observed tag. That's for Benton, Arkansas, Delaware, Oklahoma, till 10:30 p.m. Confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado was located 3 miles northwest of Southwest City. Well, that's not confusing. 3 miles northwest of Southwest City.
Yeah, no joke. Kevin says you're more like Bill Paxton from the movie Twister.
Oh, right. Okay. I like that. I love me some Bill Paxton. Go out there and, pick up the dirt, kind of watch it, smell it a little bit, tell you what the storm's going to do.
See, Jack Allen says he stayed late on Monday. And he got in trouble at work the next day when he showed up late. See, I can't. I gotta get up early.
Jack, we know who's dedicated. Okay?
I know.
There's a dedication
Jack,
for you, folks.
Can you get over here? How long does it take Jack to get here?
All right, I will say that those storms, even though they're nasty-looking supercells, they're not showing the rotation that they were. If these 2 storms end up merging, like they've been trying to do, that could totally change. So we're working our way back to the northeast. Let's head out towards St. Louis radar. While that is populating, I'm going to go on back over to our other radar. And I promised you guys at some point tonight I'm going to show you a Futurecast. I'm going to fulfill that promise now.
Chris says he hasn't driven his Dodge Ram through a rolling house yet. So is he really Bill Paxton?
No.
Are you?
But I have driven my Dodge Ram through a barricade before. No joke, construction barricade. Long story. I was 17 years old.
Was there severe weather involved?
No, but I was late to pick up my girlfriend, and
oh, there was a girlfriend involved, of course.
Anyway, we can share that another time.
Another later date.
That's right. I'm loading your Futurecast model. This is the 3K NAM. I want to see what it's showing for the rest of the overnight period tonight. So that's going to be loading up here in just a couple of minutes. I've got that coming in. In the meantime, I'll take you back to our other radar source. And the Weather Service is going absolutely bonkers about something.
What's happening?
I don't know, but I better go check in. All right, the Mexico City storm is showing a ton of rotation with that. Actually, I should say velocity with that. Tulsa says observed wind profile shows a weakness now in the storm relative mid-level, but the low-level shear is strong. Okay, they're talking about the environments going forward. I will say this: I have seen a definite weakening trend as you look at the storms as a whole. We'd like for that to continue. That would be good. I think we've had enough bad weather for one night. Springfield issues a tornado warning, by the way. This is just now. This is a radar indicated tornado located near Fairplay, 9 miles west of Boulevard, moving east at 35. And then we still have the one that's confirmed, and this is coming out of St. Louis. Tornado warning expires for Boone County. Hold on, where is that? I can show it to you better than I can find it on chat.
So Jack Allen's gonna bow out for the evening.
All right, Jack.
Jerry, you gonna be on here for a while? So Jerry Edwards is on.
Is Jerry fine? Do we need to make him a moderator as well?
He's he should be as well. I think that would be a great idea.
Tornado warning, Audrain County in central Missouri, northwestern Montgomery County, northeastern Callaway County in central Missouri. That goes until 10:30, about another 28 minutes at central time. But hey, there's a lot of wind there. I don't care if you get a tornado or not. This is a lot of wind, 60 plus mile per hour, potentially there near Mexico.
So these storms are looking strong for. At any point will they be fizzling out?
I think the overall trend is we're starting to show some weakness.
Okay, good.
So
because there's nothing worse like when you're trying to go to bed, you know,
right,
and you have this happening outside your.
And you gotta watch, and that's why it's good to have multiple modes of. Yeah, we got kids. I think are still up.
That our kid that's up. That's great.
We think it's very important to have multiple ways of receiving warning information. That's why it's so good to have those apps on your phone that automatically alert you. You call me old-fashioned, but I'm still an advocate of the old school NOAA weather radio. You know,
right? I think that's yeah.
So you need kind of that redundancy.
When you go to bed, or if you're not sleeping in the basement, you know.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're in a tornado-prone area, it's so important.
Oh my goodness, for sure.
All right, so we're still showing really good rotation on that storm. This may be the most dangerous storm that we've got, and it's looking better than it was.
So, yeah, I don't want to... How would you say this person's name?
Okay. Mikolai.
Mikolai. Okay. The storms north of Springfield are merging.
We're going to go back to that Mikolai. We want to watch the storm near Southwest City. There's another area of circulation that appears to be developing on it. That might be warranted watching. Tornado warning for Callaway and Montgomery counties in Missouri have been allowed to expire. So that's some very good news. I did promise you guys that I would show you our Futurecast model. So I'm going to fulfill that promise now. All right, here you go. So this is the current situation. This is based on the 3K NAM. We're going into the future, folks. Going into the future. You can see nasty, nasty storms. 11 o'clock, this is where we're at now. Keep in mind, they issued the tornado watch as far south as Branson. So you kind of looks like what's going to happen is you kind of have a pseudo cold front right here. It's going to sweep to the east.
Oh wait, you're on this.
Oh no. Oh, good catch, hon. Good catch.
Okay.
Wait, no, I was on the right one. She messed me up, everybody. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Did I mess you up?
Yeah, I think
Sorry.
you're on a delay over there.
I am. Okay, I'm on a delay. It's messing
So
with me.
you got the cold front that kind of sweeps through central and eastern Missouri, but it drops a boundary that hangs up, and this
Now,
is
do you want me to make Jerry a moderator?
sure Jerry can chime in.
Okay. Can I do that from over here?
Probably not. That's probably something I'll have to do.
Yeah. All right, Jack. We see your message.
So okay, so I think the thinking is that the threat's going to continue. I want you guys to look at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen because this is your time frame. So it's showing a mess of thunderstorms even at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So let me back it up. Here we are now. Storms progressed east across central Missouri into Illinois, but they hang up to the south. That does include maybe Joplin and Springfield. Keep in mind that tornado watch does now include Branson. So this area here, I don't know why I'm drawing. I can show you where the watch is. I've got to get with it, people. So there's the watch, and this is our future radar. So that's the 3K NAM. What I want to show you next is the HRRR, which is it's a higher resolution, and it usually does a pretty reasonable job. And not always superior to the 3K NAM, though, I might add. But it's just kind of another opinion. You know, when you go to the doctor for a diagnosis, it's always good to get the multiple opinions. And so that's what we're doing here. All right, so this is the HRRR, and it doesn't drop it as far south in the south end.
This is where we part ways.
Hey, we're looking at future radar, huh?
You got this?
I guess, do I have I'll call you if I need you.
Well, I mean, feel free to do that.
I will.
All right, well,
This
best
is
of
AKA
luck.
Lisa Ray, everybody.
Best of luck to hopefully this weekend.
You can find her on Twitter. That's Lisa Kappell, Kappell with a K. Lisa Ray, or AKA Lisa Ray. That's her nickname, is AKA Lisa Ray. Look her up on Facebook if you're on there. And then you're on Instagram now.
Yeah.
What's your handle? She's got her own shirt. She's that big of a deal. Check it out. AKA Lisa Ray. She has her own shirt.
I have my own blog.
You do. And you can find her blog and you can find me. Go to kappellweather.com. Kappell spelled with a K. If you're too lazy to find Kappell Weather, just type in WxLiveNow.com. That'll take you to the same place. And you can find all of her stuff, all my stuff, and we appreciate your all support.
Yes.
All right.
Good night, guys.
I'm going to get back to work.
All right. Good luck with this.
Thank you.
Hopefully you all can also get some sleep later.
Well, I'm hoping that this is winding down a little
Yeah,
bit.
me
It
too,
does
me
not
too.
look as severe as it did earlier.
Okay.
But certainly worth monitoring. We're watching that kind of tail end beginning to flare up there. This is the storm that's moving out of Oklahoma and into extreme northwestern Arkansas. No, southwestern Missouri. Sorry. But I'll be honest, I'm a little underwhelmed by the amount of rotation that I'm seeing with that storm. So with that, I'm going to go back to Springfield now. We've still got 255 people on here, so a good crowd. Thank you for being with us. I've got April Holloway. Thank you, guys, for streaming live during this time. My family lives in Carl Junction, Joplin area, and I was able to watch the weather move through and stay in communication with them. Well, you're very welcome, April. I appreciate you being here. Jerry Edwards, you now are an official moderator, my friend. That's when you know you're in the in. So watch out for that Jerry guy. No, fantastic, fantastic person, and got a fantastic family. They've been big supporters of ours ever since the very beginning. I've got Angie, tornado warning for Springfield, and then that's not a tornado warning for Springfield. And then Michael, it doesn't do any good to make assumptions or to, you know, damage is damage. I heard it's very significant. We'll find out tomorrow what the actual rating was. Talked about the Golden City tornado. It does look like we're ratcheting things back up a little bit with that particular storm. But these storms are also look like they're becoming a little bit more gust front dominated, I should say outflow dominated, but it's still showing a lot of rotation within this storm, particularly the lead cell. So Springfield, you're not under any type of a warning at all. We've got the 2 warnings. They did slap a confirmed, but that was at 9:33. So that, I think this one's old. It's about to be. Yeah. They're about to downgrade that one. Goes till 10:15. Couple more minutes. I'll let that go. So the confirmed tags are no longer relevant. Central Polk County, though, that is a tornado warning for you until 10:30 Central Time. About another 20 minutes or so. And then for the second storm, that's a tornado warning for southeastern Cedar, west central Polk, northeastern Dade County. That goes until 10:45. Got to say, it's always kind of eerie to see twin supercells like this one here. Kind of reminisced me of March 2nd, 2012. Henryville, Indiana was hit by an F4, very violent F4, and was followed up in close range with another supercell that briefly produced a tornado, but also produced grapefruit-sized hail. That was a particularly horrible storm, but it was twin supercells, and it reminds me a lot of that. It looked a lot like that. But it also occurred in the middle of the day, peak heating. It was a high-risk day. As you guys know, that this is not a high, it's a moderate risk. Obviously, we still want to treat it very carefully as we watch these storms continue to progress. So let's go back to broader view. I'm going to bring you back over to our other radar unit in a moment. We did go through future radar. And again, scenario is that the northern stuff is going to move east, southern will drag south and stall. And I think that's going to become the more active area later on tonight. So let me bring up some of that other radar information for you. I'll have that up in just a couple of moments. Pretty sure I've got too many radars on. Let me turn one of those off. A lot of flash flood warnings are being issued, by the way, which we haven't really talked a lot about. I don't think it's going to be as bad as the flooding from 2 nights ago, but they're still alive. Okay, so it looks like Mexico will be cleared pretty soon, coming in from the National Weather Service out of St. Louis. A new severe thunderstorm warning downstream, 70-mile-per-hour winds, possible with that. There's a tornado warning for McDonald County, Missouri that goes until 10:30. That is a continuation. Wow, that's a lot. It's a lot of warnings out there. So you're still looking at those twin supercells. And again, very ugly images. I'm going to tweet this to my friends, though. Well, they're still up, probably thinking about, they're probably thinking about Joplin tonight. And just how grateful everybody is that that did not hit. And let's see here. All right, so and if only I could spell. How do you spell reminiscent? Oh, I got it. so that's out. Okay, let's get caught up with our audience tonight. We've got about 225 people on here currently. What am I showing is the question. The twin supercells. I just think they're very impressive looking. Circulation, though, gradually loosening up, which could be, again, further indicator that the overall evolution of this outbreak is beginning to move in a positive direction. I don't want to become overconfident, but again, we're progressing. We're moving in the right direction tonight, so that's great. And I also want to remind you folks that are on here, maybe you're on here for the first time. Thank you very much for finding my channel. This is a brand new channel, just launched on Friday. In fact, our first live stream was Friday, and we've had, I don't know, a number of streams since the weather's been as active, but the focus of this channel is to provide you guys with continuous coverage of major severe weather events, especially when they're impacting metropolitan areas, and especially areas where I have previous forecast experience from. For those that don't know, I'm a 20-year broadcast veteran in meteorology. I've got the American Meteorological Society seal of approval. I'm a certified broadcast meteorologist. I've worked in Texas, I've worked in Kansas, Mississippi, Indiana, Kentucky, and also portions of the Great Lakes and now Northeast up here in New York. So you can find a lot of misinformation when it comes to severe weather on social media. This is a place you can trust. And so I want you guys to know that I'm not going to try to hype it. I'm not going to overplay something. We're not going to sensationalize the weather, in my opinion. Weather is pretty sensational the way it is. You don't have to make it too big. It is what it is. Weather is the show oftentimes, so I try to shoot you straight, shoot you right down the middle. So if you haven't already subscribed, or if you haven't already hit the notification button, please do so. I want you guys to come back next time. That's Weather Live Now, WxLIVE Now, and maybe a share of this video as well if you haven't already. I appreciate that. Matt on here, looking at maybe strong rotation. What storm are you all talking about? I've got everyone else path. Heed your warnings. These storms keep dropping large dangerous tornadoes. Okay, Black, thank you very much for that. There's Jerry on here. Not seeing tornado in Raymore, he's saying. I see hazardous weather like thunderstorms, a flash flood watch according to the National Weather Service. Jerry, thanks for monitoring, and thanks for helping out. Hello from South Texas at Sailor. Kevin on here. I'm here for the first time and enjoying it. That's Kevin Bergeron, and thank you, Kevin. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Chris on here. Yeah, it looks like this is getting a little less organized. It is. I think what's happening, I'm looking at the mesoscale, and I can show you guys what I'm looking at. Looking at the meso analysis page from the Storm Prediction Center, and overall it looks like we're slowly winding down a little bit. Here's make sure I've got that information up before I pop over to it. Oh, where did you go? Storm Prediction Center. I will say this: the Weather Service is getting a lot quieter, and that's always a good. It's always a good thing. So I come on over to the meso analysis page to see what the atmosphere is doing in real time, and this is what it looks like when you go over there. And we look at just a few basic ingredients most of the time. The biggest one this time of the night is going to be your instability, or the amount of CAPE. When it comes to tornadoes, specifically, you need surface-based CAPE. Right now we're showing peak CAPE of about 3,000. That's ahead of that. It's across south central Missouri. But in the immediate vicinity of where these storms are located, peak CAPE of only 2,000. So 1 to 2,000 CAPE for most of these thunderstorms to feed off of. And that number will continue to go down overnight tonight. That's not an impressive number. Earlier tonight when we began, it was 3 to 4 to 4,500. So that number's come way down. So that's good. I still think we have pockets of pretty good wind shear, bulk wind shear, actually pretty widespread wind shear of anywhere between 45 and 60 miles per hour. That's more than enough. So wind shear, it's conducive thermodynamically. CAPE, it's beginning to wind down a little bit. What about helicity, specifically of the lowest kilometer of the atmosphere? Looking at those helicity values, and it looks like there they are, between 2 and 400. That's also favorable. So the one limiting factor is the heating. As we continue to lose the heating, our atmosphere will become less conducive to producing the type of rotating thunderstorms that can produce tornadoes. They'll continue to rotate. They'll continue with a damaging wind threat. They'll continue with the possibility of a hail threat. But as far as the tornado threat, it's there now for sure, but it's not what it was. And I think we'll be in better shape here as we go throughout the remainder of the overnight period tonight. So we still have plenty of tornado warnings, though. I'm counting. I'll let you look at these with me. And those are flash flood warnings, by the way, in green. I'm going to turn that off. We don't need to spend too much more time on that. You just know with that much rain, it's going to flood some. So you do have flash flood warnings for many areas across western, southwestern Missouri, portions of northeastern Oklahoma. And I'm trying to keep up with 3 different National Weather Service chat rooms right now. There's a new tornado warning. This one is coming in from St. Louis for Pike, Rawls, and Pike County. So there's 2 Pikes: Pike County, Indiana, Pike County, Illinois. We'll go to that in just a moment. I can show you it from here. They don't have the warning out yet, but it's coming. There it is. It materialized right in front of you. That does include Pittsfield and Louisiana. Pittsfield and Louisiana. All right. Let's go over to analyst radar. We've been watching those twins. I want to go back in there and look at them again. Again, just not displaying the type of, I mean, these are healthy supercells. I don't want you guys to get me wrong. But they're not showing that type of rotation that they were. Things were overall looking better. Let's come on over here to, come on back over to St. Louis radar. Let that populate there for a moment. So there was a confirmed tornado a short while ago. It's a very small tornado warning though. That was issued at 10:13. Goes until 10:30. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. That's not the confirmed. I don't know where it went then. Okay, tornado warning canceled. I'm clicking on it. Is it not there? It does say it remains in effect until 10:30 for northeastern Audrain County. All right, I'm not seeing a lot of rotation on this one. Now the other one's showing a little better rotation, so this is a new warning. A little better. It's nothing like we had earlier this evening, but maybe enough to warn. Frankfort, Ashford, New Canton, Louisiana along the Mississippi River, into Pittsford. Again, we mentioned the counties. It's Pike, Rawls, and Pike. Pike County, Illinois, Pike County, Missouri. I think I said Indiana earlier. What can I say? I'm a Hoosier. I'm a Hoosier, baby. All right, let's take a quick mental break here. 226 people. The video of the tornado that hit north of Joplin looks eerily similar to the Gerald Deathman walking tornado. Talking about Gerald, Texas. I think the one in Missouri was moving a little bit faster. And I haven't seen all the videos, so maybe I should go back over to my tweet deck and take a look. See what's out there. And so I'm looking at the Missouri weather right now. Did have some pretty ugly looking tornadoes earlier. Ooh, I don't think I've seen this one yet. This is Carl Junction. I'll show you a picture of this. Carl Junction, Missouri earlier. This is from Brad B. Workman WX. That's a pretty healthy tornado. Again, getting a lot of reports of quite a bit of damage with that particular storm. Here's another one. This is forwarded by Mark Weinberg. Mark Weinberg, the chief meteorologist for WDRB in Louisville, Kentucky. I worked with Mark for several years. Wow, yeah, that is a captivating video. I'm going to have to share that. Bring that back up for a minute, let you guys look at that. It's pretty bad. That's from Ryan Stewart. Wow. I think I can make that bigger for you. Oh wow, look at all the debris flying around that. It's difficult to, I'm looking to see if it has multiple vortexes. It's hard to imagine there's not more than one in there. The size of that storm. Obviously frequent lightning. I think I see a little side vortex. No, that's a wire. It's a big storm though. That's from Ryan Stewart. I guarantee you that video is going to get a lot of shares. All right, this is Chandler Boss, and that's you, a backlit tornado. It looks like he's north and east of that tornado, so it's heading at him. He's definitely a chaser. Best still shot I had of the tornado tonight. It was backlit, and it looks like he's about to get blasted with a front flank downdraft. That's what all the heavy precipitation looks like it's building in on him. So he didn't have long to take that shot. It's a good looking shot though. Got to give him credit and a retweet. All right, so we've got 216 people in the room right now. Again, I want to thank you guys for taking the time to come on out. There's a broad picture. Weather Service they're issuing more tornado watches. I'll mention that. That goes down into central Missouri and even southern Missouri. This does include St. Louis to Springfield. That's a tornado watch for you. We still have several tornado warnings that are in effect. Come back behind here. I'm going to turn off the flash flood watches. You can just kind of focus on the actual warnings and the individual watches. And we need to get caught up on some of these warnings as well. So I'm going to come back over to our analyst radar. So I do like to see, I like what I'm seeing across central Missouri, where they're really just kind of falling apart. That's all positive. We've got the one tornado warning as mentioned crossing over the Mississippi River here in just a moment. That circulation does not look impressive at all. I'm not going to spend a lot more time on that right now. Let's run on up to Lincoln, Illinois. I think that's KILX. I want to investigate a couple of those warnings. I haven't looked at them very much. Everything kind of moving in the right direction though. That's the good news. Chris Chambers, hey Jeremy, question is there a way to get watches, thunderstorm watches on GR level 3 or analyst? I have not used GR level 3 in a while and I don't remember. On analyst, I believe there is a way to bring that in as a shape file, but it's a little cumbersome and I have not done that recently. But I do believe you can do that. I've seen it done. Just need to do a little research on how. There's a pretty good tutorial that's through Gibson Ridge, a forum that I think explains a lot of that stuff if you want to do a little digging. And when you figure out how to do it, you get back to me because I have not placed those files in my current analyst yet. But I think it's a great question. And she's back, everybody. Did you miss your crowd? Wendy Schleyer on here. She's a big-time Team Kappell supporter. She's said thank you for being on here and for doing this, and you're very welcome. TSRA Productions, watching here in Iowa. Love the live stream as I love storms. Been trying to watch what I can the last few days, but hard to keep up with all the different news networks. Love that you have everything. Well, that's awesome. I appreciate that. TSRA Productions, everybody. Please subscribe and hit the notification tab if you haven't already done that, the little yellow bell. That way you know next time I come on. That's very helpful. So thanks for the positive feedback. Yeah, Justin talking about the Gerald, Texas tornado. It did. It stalled out and then moved southwest. Valerie, watching from Kansas. I subscribe. Great job. Great, Valerie. I appreciate that. That's Valerie Hunt. And Valerie, so you know I used to work in Kansas. I was in the Topeka market for about 3.5 years. So, all right, 203 people. We've been on for about 3 hours and 10 minutes. It's been fun. We'll stick with it a little while longer while we've still got the weather popping. But I do want to ease some fears that are out there. It does look like the atmosphere is becoming less conducive for violent tornadoes. I'm not saying that tornado can't occur because we've got the watches out for good reason. But it just doesn't look as bad as it did earlier this evening. The atmosphere slowly simmering down just a little bit. So that's good news. All right, so I did want to come on up here to north central Illinois. These are some storms I haven't really investigated much at all tonight, but I wanted to take the opportunity to do that. These were tornado warned, and now they are just severe. Severe thunderstorm warnings that are in effect. The first one is for west central Woodford County, north central Tazewell, and central Peoria County. That goes until 10:45 Central Time. And then the second one, further south, is a severe thunderstorm warning for Logan County, south central Fulton County, southeastern Tazewell, and Mason County. That goes until 11:15. So there you have it. One tornado warning coming from St. Louis, and again, I'm less than impressed by the circulation. I think this one is also on the way out. Let's go on down to Springfield next, where again in Springfield we're looking at the multiple storms that we've been tracking for you. This is a look at the entire area of interest from Peoria to near Tulsa. Had many tornado warnings tonight. Many of them confirmed. Unfortunately, reports of quite a bit of damage out of some of these as well, particularly southwestern sections of Missouri. We were very concerned considering today was the 8th anniversary of the Joplin tornado, the F5 that just leveled portions of that town, killed 158 people 8 years ago today. Joplin was put under a warning. I think everybody's, I know mine, the hair on my back, it stood straight up. You just don't want to see anything like that ever again. Hopefully in our lifetimes we won't, but it does serve as a grim reminder that even though we have all this technology around us, we're still vulnerable. We are still vulnerable, folks. Okay, the two twins we've been tracking for you, they're simmering down as well. They're not showing nearly the rotation that they were earlier. I'm gaining confidence that those are weakening and they're on the way out. Let's go on down to Tulsa next. And I can also bring back that Futurecast radar for you one more time tonight. I'll get that loading in. Okay, so that'll load. We'll have that up for you in a moment. In the meantime, here's the two tornado warned storms north of Tulsa. Neither one of these are showing a ton of rotation though. I like to put them into motion, kind of get an idea of relative sense. And yeah, I don't think they look like they're in all that great shape. So overall, things are definitely looking improved at this hour. All right, so Futurecast is loading here on the other radar. I'll have that up for you. HRRR. Let's get the next 12 hours. All right, here's your Futurecast radar. Notice your timestamp down here at the bottom left. So we pick up the action here at midnight, and then we play through. So again, I want to slow that down. Let's take it back. So this is where it is now. Notice the southern end kind of hangs up. So all this stuff's going to kind of hang up. Meanwhile, the rest of this, it dives south and east. So you're going to get some thunderstorms late tonight into western or eastern Illinois, central Indiana, eventually southern Indiana. That looks like a squall line. Somebody was asking about what's the difference between a bow and a squall. Well, this could have bow echoes, could have a squall line. This is back, some of my hometown friends live down there, southern Indiana, north central Kentucky. Louisville, you'll be under the gun. Probably not severe. You could have a couple warnings, but not that bad. Here further west, it's going to hang up. That could pose a real flood threat. Bartlesville, Springfield. So that would be my biggest concern late tonight, is the potential for flooding. Again, the severe threat is gradually winding down, and hopefully we'll be able to put any real tornado threat in our back window. There was that PDS tornado watch earlier. Now it's just the tornado watch that remains in effect. The PDS will be allowed to expire at midnight, but overall, as mentioned, things are definitely improving. We've got 202 people on this live stream right now. Let me take a small break, see who we have, and I'm also out of water, H2O. Billings is well out of the scope of the current storms. A weather radio is a good idea. Yes, Kansas City is just fine. That's coming in from KO13. I've got Trucker on here. Jerry, thanks for helping to moderate. That's my buddy Jerry Edwards. Be sure to follow him if you're not already. Good friend of the family. And Jerry, I look forward to seeing you on Sunday. Ty on here. Do I still need to hide out in Joplin, or can we rest a little easier? I think you can rest a little easier. I would watch for that next wave. It's going to be late tonight. But yes, things are definitely improved. There was a legitimate threat tonight when that supercell passed just to your north. And I'm happy to say that threat is much less now. And overall, as mentioned, things are looking to be moving in the right direction. So here's the back over on our, which radar are we on? Okay, analyst radar. We were checking out the weather down in Springfield. Make that Tulsa. Looks like we got a little pop here. So this might be might be waking up a little bit. Okay, so you got a little bit of a circulation that's tightening up right here. So this is a tornado warned storm. Tornado warnings for Rogers County, southeastern Osage, southern Washington, northeastern Tulsa County until 11:15. Okay, so be aware of that. It's 11:15 Central. New frame came in. You know, it's nothing conclusive, but there's some stronger winds up here. I don't think there's no doubt there's some stronger wind. Broad rotation, yes. Second warning, that storm doesn't look very good, which is a good thing. It definitely is weakening in time. I'm not terribly concerned with that. Okay, St. Louis reports the severe thunderstorm warning is still in effect for Audrain, Callaway, Montgomery, Pike counties. They're saying tornado possible. Also reporting some power outage. That's Mexico in east central Missouri. So we're transitioning over to severe, not tornadic, severe. New tornado warning issued. No, sorry, severe thunderstorm warning issued. Miller, Morgan, that goes until 11:30. And then Tulsa on here, they do continue with the tornado warning we were just looking at. That's for Osage, Rogers, Tulsa, Washington till 11:15. All right, folks, there you have it. I'm going to go back up here to Springfield next. And let's take some comments. We've got about 189 people. Crowd is beginning to wind down a little bit. Christopher McLeod, great job with your stream tonight. I've been following for hours and have really enjoyed it. Thank you, Christopher. Looking like the storms are starting to try to line up more into a squall line, and I definitely think that's occurring for the northern part of the storm. Gusting out. Again, great job, Christopher. I appreciate you. Be sure to hit the subscribe if you haven't already, and the notification bell. I'd like to see you back in one of our rooms at some point in the future. Caden, how about Sedalia? I don't know. You talking about Sedalia, Kansas, I believe? Or is that a Sedalia, Missouri? I'm looking now. That is Missouri. Where is Sedalia? I'm trying to place it in my mind. I've seen it on the road map. Yeah, you're out there towards Kansas City. You're about halfway between Jefferson City and Kansas City. You're fine. I think your weather's going to wind down. All right, we got Tulsa's continuing with the tornado warning that we already knew was ongoing. We can go back to that here in just a moment. Right now, we are going to go right back up to near Springfield, where you've got twin supercells. They're still putting up a fight. They don't look as organized as they did, but they're maintaining some level of intensity. Honestly, it just looks like they've gusted out, meaning that basically the rain-cooled air that's generated from these thunderstorms has pushed the outflow boundary so far ahead of them, it's making it difficult for them to spin. It's spinning up in the clouds, but it's having a hard time spinning its way to the ground. That was not the case earlier. They were having no problems dropping ropes and wedges and trunks all over the place. So things are winding down, folks. I think I'm going to wind this broadcast down as well. Again, I appreciate you guys joining me tonight for this, and for those that are unaware, or maybe you weren't here earlier when I mentioned it, but this is a new channel, so I haven't been doing this very long at all. Oh, look at the grease on my head. But that's the plan with this channel, is to track significant and severe weather events as they occur in real time across many parts of the United States, and I feel that I'm uniquely qualified to do that with 20 years of experience of broadcast weather. I'm sealed by the American Meteorological Society. I am a certified broadcast meteorologist. I think it's so important that you have trusted quality sources where you're getting your weather information from. You would expect that if you were watching a local news channel, I would imagine, you should expect that from your YouTuber as well, or whatever person you're getting your weather information from through social media. So I've got 20 years experience. I've worked in Kansas, I've worked in Texas, I've worked in Mississippi, I've worked in Indiana, Kentucky, New York. So you talk about the plains, you talk about the Ohio River Valley, Great Lakes, Northeast. I've probably seen it. There's not too many surprises that come across my way when it comes to weather. At least not total surprises. Weather always seems to have the upper hand. I'm one of the big things on this program that you're going to find is that I'm not going to hype you. I'm not a hype. I don't believe in it. Weather is sensational the way it is. There's no need to make it any larger than what it is. So what I try to do is I try to shoot you straight, try to shoot you down the middle. What I see is what you get. So that's my spiel. Subscribe if you aren't already, and hit the notification button for next time. I appreciate it very much. Amy Yates, thank you. She's a big supporter of Team Kappell. Matt on here. Nice job, Jeremy. Like this better than the traditional media route. You might be on the cutting edge of this, especially for the younger half. Thank you very much, Matt. Yeah, I appreciate the words of encouragement. Any news from Orinago? Is it Orinago? I had it down earlier. I now have to go back through my feeds. There probably is some news, but I have not been able to keep up with all the information that's been coming across tonight. Again, I'm in contact with the National Weather Service, 3 different National Weather Service offices tonight. Shout out to my friends out in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Springfield, Missouri, and St. Louis, again, for all the help for everything that you guys do, the public service that they provide, that I'm able to help you guys out with. Before we leave, I do want to take another look at everything that's out there. I don't typically like to leave, when there are warnings, tornado warnings. There are, but these again are on the way out, in my opinion. You still want to heed your warnings if you're being affected by one of these, but just know that overall conditions are improving, and I do expect that to continue overnight tonight. A look out at our analyst radar. Right now we're located right there in Springfield. Looking one more time at, again, these 2 twin supercell storms. They look pretty ominous on your reflectivity. They do have those nice looping hooks associated with them, but in this case, I think the bark is much bigger than the bite. I just don't see it over on the velocity, and that's what's most important this time of the night. One more look down here at Tulsa, Oklahoma. And that is loading. Crystal Bull, thanks a lot. I appreciate you being here. Jamie on here. Does anyone know if and how bad Joplin was hit? Joplin was spared tonight. Okay, we were on live just in case Joplin were to take a hit. Storms got close. I got on, and they went under a warning, a confirmed warning at one point, but the storm lifted north. Joplin was spared. Thank God. That would have been awful, but we were very fortunate. Unfortunately, some areas weren't spared tonight. Was it Carl Junction, and then Orinago? There were a few towns that looked like they probably got pretty beat up. Some pretty nasty twisters out there for a while tonight. Going over to Tulsa. Tulsa is still showing, again, the 2 supercells, but they're not looking so super from a velocity standpoint. While I won't call any of these completely dead, they do look pretty wimpy at this point. Checking back in with the Storm Prediction Center. And again, I like to look over there so we can analyze the radar in real time. The environment, I should say, of the atmosphere. The biggest limiting factor that we've got going forward is going to be that cape, and the cape continues to gradually reduce. So there's still going to be an opportunity for these storms to maintain intensity for a little while, but overall they'll continue to decrease in intensity as we go throughout the overnight period tonight. And my friends, that is a very good thing. There's a look at the big picture. Again, still lots of active warnings out there. Just know that it's going to be a stormy night for parts of the region. Tornado watches are still out, and they should still be heated. I would make sure that you have some way of being notified just in case another warning is issued for you. So have a weather app. That's always a good thing. And if you have an old weather radio, I'm kind of old school. I still like to have one laying around. If you're in a tornado-prone area, it's a good idea. Okay, Bob Kuhn on here. You're very welcome, and thanks for being here. Thanks to my moderator tonight. That's Jerry Edwards. If you were on earlier, that was Jack Allen. My wife was involved. That's AKA Lisa Ray. Lisa Ray Kappell, last name spelled with a K. Look us up. Find our website. We've got multiple blogs that we put out. We do blogs based on weather patterns, severe especially for me. She does a lot of faith-based type of blog posts as well. We are located in Western New York. But again, I'm from all over the region, so that's why I continue to provide these timely forecasts and again try to help keep people ahead of the storm, if you will. So with that being said, thanks again for being here. Hit the subscribe button, the notification button if you haven't already, so you know next time that we're on. That's it for me tonight, though, guys. Again, appreciate you all being here. You all stay informed, stay safe, stay blessed, my friends, and we'll talk to you again soon.